Hello everyone, and welcome to the Benefactor at Chaotic Neutral Games. I'm Simon, your DM for tonight, as we join Kate, Felicia, Nick and Corinne with their adventures in Ilaria. Don't forget that you can help or indeed hinder by using your channel points in the chat. Using your channel points in the game. Check out the options in the chat bar. You can also join the chaos by clicking the Discord link below, or vote towards the session twist by becoming a subscriber. So let's rejoin the players as they play episode 84 of the Benefactor. Welcome back, everybody.
Yay!
And thank you to Kate for the cat herding.
That's right.
Stop talking. We're going now.
The titles have ended. Jesus. Luckily, they don't go to a black screen,
We
so
like
that's quite helpful.
talking.
I know.
what
This
the
is
fuck
our
you're on about.
opportunity. So the titles and the break, and that's it. So everyone's too tired at the end of the day.
Yeah.
How are
We
you
don't
doing in
socialise, we
chat?
play D&D here.
Yes, how are we all? Well, Alicia is a very, very bad person.
Yes.
Very bad.
Felicia
Oh, because
is
she got you
bad.
back into World
She's
of Warcraft.
bad and she should feel bad.
Yeah, because she's got me to pay for 1 month for World of Warcraft to play that. I haven't played it in 5 years.
She's
Were you
back,
playing
baby.
for the
She's
5 years?
back.
Because I know what that's.
You
I had
say
friends
1
that
month,
disappeared.
but then you see a new mount you want to get, and you continue to get it, and then you see that really nice transmog set, and you want to get it.
I was
I
going to say
know.
the first one's
That
free,
has
but
been
bloody
me
I'm
isn't.
very
for the
glad I never
past
got into
4
that game.
years.
Really
Yeah.
don't, Kate. Just don't.
No.
No, it's not worth it.
I
It's not
I
worth
know
it.
how
Like
addicted
to
I
point
am
out
to
that
games.
technically the first one is free because the first 20 levels are free,
Yeah.
and then you have to pay.
Yeah.
So the
Like
old
that.
adage still remains true.
Yes.
Yes, I started playing it around 2010, 2011, and then I stopped in 2015, so I played it 5 years. But then I didn't play for 5 years, essentially, and now I'm playing it again.
Yep. So
I
5-year
played
relapse.
from
Yep.
vanilla to
Yep.
the beginning
She's only
of
got a 5-year pin, and that's
Kata,
it.
and then I quit for a few years because that couldn't pay for 2 subscriptions, with the divorce and everything like that. And then we went back in Legion, and I'm still here.
I've been clean for 10 years, and I'm going to stay that way. Anyway.
I've been a filthy addict since 2004.
Yeah.
2010 for me.
So,
Hello, my
I
name is
am a
Corinne
genuine-
Morrows.
Don't, Kate. Just don't.
I am
Save
a
yourself.
genuine sweaty boy. I
had
do not think I
friends who
have a
disappeared
problem.
into it. Yeah.
Nope.
That's
I
Not
don't
a
have a
problem.
problem. I have no addiction problems whatsoever, and I did not spend 6 hours today grinding mats for a 3-hour raid once a week.
Oh, I
You
don't think
have
I could
no
do it though.
fucking-
I think I'd be bored.
Yeah.
No, I put
don't
music
like
on.
grindy
I play
games.
with.
You
play
put
with
on some
people.
music or some video or RuPaul's Drag Race on the other monitor,
Yeah.
and then you do your thing, collect
Kate, the only
all
good
your
part of it all is you only
herbs.
need to use one button on your keyboard.
I think you could only get that much money for
And
an
there's also
account
the-
in 2004, and you're
Right.
not gonna get like, and I think they're very good at detecting soul accounts.
And to be fair though, it's the whole my deep sense of self-loathing that just keeps me going.
Oh, don't say that, because I've got plenty of that. So don't. If you
but I hate
that's what
myself
you
so
mean.
much that I'm just like, you deserve this suffering.
It's the whole thing of.
And I just
I'll
sit
be
there
RP.
and I'm
While
like,
we're
"Yeah,
discussing this and not playing, I'm going to go get food from the door.
And it's
Hold on.
like, I already have all of these awesome mounts.
That's it, she walked
I
off in
wanna
disgust.
keep getting more.
Why do I feel like we're in an intervention meeting now?
Yeah, I was gonna say,
right.
hello, my name is Corinne Burrows, and I play WoW.
Yes.
Shall we?
I do not have a problem.
Let's
No.
recap, shall we?
No,
Yes.
not a problem
So,
at all.
Last week on the Benefactor, the girls came back from Naruka with some meatballs and some backup meatballs, being what happened to the first two.
Yes. We got many meatballs.
And we had backup meatballs for the backup
stomach.
meatballs because Cora was snacking on the backup meatballs.
Yeah, it was the ablative armor for the other meatballs. That's right. So your business finished in Naruka. You came back. You spoke to Renata Green very briefly, and mostly had discussions amongst yourself. You discussed a little bit of glory in general. And when we left off, you were sat around Farewell's caravan. So for the sake of the viewers, part of Farewell's background is that the Barebones family and two other families, I need to call up the law document to find out the other two names, were traveling Raven Queen clerics and their kind of families and things. And they would go from village to village, putting the dead to rest, helping the dying, things along those lines, things that you'd normally find the servants of the Raven Queen doing. And as a result, after Farewell's catastrophe, where he came to consciousness one night and found many of his caravan missing and many more dead, he came to Ostergold with his caravan. And it's been mentioned a few times in the story, but we went back to that, and Farewell has been using some of the books that are in that caravan to read up on some things. He's got some cleric supplies there, some of the lore of his family, some old journals from previous Barebones. And he also talked to Glory about potentially making it bigger. And we were talking about the enchantment that would be required to make some extra rooms. Not more than Canaan's mansion, demi-plane style, but just a little bit of space for them. Yeah, kind of like a very, very light handy haversack, I guess. So we left off on a comment where Glory was walking around the caravan trying to figure out where she would put all the different glyphs and runes and things like that to be able to do this otherwise fairly utilitarian enchantment. And her familiar, as yet unnamed, slithered up her neck and placing his intangible face next to her ear, whispered to her, "Yes, it's going to be a challenge, mistress, especially considering the caravan is already enchanted." So that's where we start off. And whilst Kate is devouring some Five Guys, I'm going to go back to that scene and Glory. So literally, that line has just been said.
Can I see any signs of it being enchanted or any runes or anything inside? Or even outside on it?
You've been around it and given it the once over already, so give me an Arcana check.
Those she is good at. I just need to pull up my character sheet because I remember I don't have it in my phone anymore, which is sad, and I'm still angry at myself over it. You know, the usual. Let's see here. Arcana, I'm good at that. That's probably one of my worst rolls in Arcana. That is a 19.
So as you give the thing the once over, you can see that there's a number of different markings. Some of them are clearly not arcane. You recognize that straight from the get-go. You think, but you're not entirely sure, that some of them are religious or semi-religious, or maybe even just superstition-based, which comes under religion rather than arcana, to give certain protections. There's a few symbols that you stop on, and you can see that there's similarities to arcane symbols, but nothing that you can really see. Nick, what color is the caravan?
Good question. It's probably still very much wooden. You can see it's mostly stained. It's probably sort of a very natural oil that they've used, to sort of slightly darker tones of browns. But you can see around sort of the main sleeping area, you'll probably see like faded and chipping paint. Very childish drawings, look like what kids would have done when they were much younger, and it's just sort of faded and moved away from time. But the outside is relatively sort of plain and unchanged, other than the staining.
Okay, so that's what you see, Glory. You don't see any traditional form of enchantment by placing marks on there. Mostly, most of the, and this is going into enchantment in Illyria 101, most magical items that you'll find in Illyria are very overtly enchanted. They will have marks, glyphs, if it's a dwarven artisanry, runes. There are some others that use runes as well. The Goliath, certain barbarian tribes, orcs use a form of runic form as well, depending on whether they are still under Grumsh or not. And so Arcana checks, more often than not, are just looking for those markings. Most master artisans and enchanters are very good at hiding the runes in the patterns and things that you'll find there already, so it's not super overt. And then the best enchanters have other ways of doing enchantment. So if you've got the bell curve of enchantment in an area, most of the middle is going to be some form of scripted enchantment. After that, there's on the one side, you've got temporary enchantments, so scrolls that have been said, spells that temporarily enchant things, like the elemental weapon spell, the magic weapon spell, things along those lines, abilities that do things like that as well. You can bless a sword, you can do all sorts of things, paladins do it all the time. Then true mastery and alchemy can basically make something that does not in any way look enchanted. And you could, a master of enchantment could throw a piece of driftwood on a beach and tell everybody that there is a magical item on that beach, and they'll throw in some other rusty items and things like that. And the very last thing they'll go to is that piece of driftwood. And that piece of driftwood could be the deck of a board from a ship and all the rest of it. So there's two things that come from it, and from that, if you're not going to be using any form of glyph or runic expression or patterns or magic circles or any of the other stuff that mostly comes under wizardry, but sorcerers and other arcanists are able to do it as well, is the use of legacy. So something that has been through something. So something that, for example, has been transported to every plane of existence will pick up certain resonance. Something that's killed a lot of things will pick up a certain amount of resonance, and it makes it easier to enchant that with a sympathetic enchantment. By sympathetic, I mean that if, for example, you have a sword that's killed lots of people, giving it necrotic damage is something that will be easier to enchant. Putting a flying spell on it, or animating it, or maybe getting it so that you can touch someone with a flattened blade and heal them for something that's been killing things, it'll actually resist the enchantment. Finally, reagents. Rare reagents. And I'm going Harry Potter with this. Phoenix feathers, dragon heart, dragon tooth, dragon scale, things along those lines, each have a resonance to them that you can just artificially graft into something.
Thanks for killing dragons.
So, that's a little bit of a background. And you know all of this because you now have proficiency with enchanting tools, thanks to a previous downtime.
Yes.
Whoever enchanted this, if it is indeed enchanted, and you don't see any reason to doubt your familiar, although you've just found out your familiar can see magic,
useful.
If it is indeed enchanted, it was done one of these ways. So either this caravan or something in the caravan has gained resonance, or it's got a reagent somewhere in its makeup. It could be the type of wood. It could be something that's been mixed into the varnish. It could be the metal spokes that make up the wheels. Something in this caravan is lending an enchantment-like effect.
While this is all happening, Eclipse is gonna try her best and snoop around and find anything like childhood Farrell has put in here that is embarrassing and that she...
Sure, investigation check.
Well, he only has himself to blame. He took you here.
Yes. So that is 15 plus 12 is 27.
So 27. Whilst you're entertaining people, you can't help but notice this fidgety tabaxi is pretty much everywhere. I'll leave it to Nick to storytell this.
What do I find?
Not a whole lot. I mean, what you know of Farewell is that most of the things that are important to him, he keeps on himself.
Yeah. Maybe like a child love letter or something.
Interesting.
I love where your brain immediately goes, Corinne, compared to where I imagined that Nick's is going.
Yeah. I mean, you will find a lot of sort of old journals and diaries and stuff like that, which I imagine in the hurry of finding things is maybe not giving you the full amount of time to read. You do pick up on certain things like very isolated kid, not an awful lot on his own. An awful lot on his own, not an awful lot with other children. There's a lot of talk of other children, but never conversations of farewell with them.
Observations of other children, in other words.
Yeah, a lot of watching and that, and an awful lot of today Grandpa taught me, and today I learned, and things of that sort of nature. Yeah, there seems, if anything, there's this period perhaps you would have expected where you would almost see this impressionable teenage.
Yeah, it's like today I had my first kiss with blah blah blah.
And it's not there. Yeah. There's almost like this void, and the handwriting and the sort of conversation in there is much more older than you would have expected from somebody quite of this age, especially when you start going, okay, well, the young kids ones is a bit boring. Let's find the juicy stuff. Let's find the early to mid-teen stuff. That's prime embarrassment material. And there'll be an awful lot of things in there that talk about like his time learning. I was figuring out a way to work that in, Stay, and I appreciate you beating me to it. Much love, much love. Yeah, there's a large amount of sorrow at one stage where he talks about having to leave, and the diary sort of stops. And through the dating, you can tell that it picks up about 4 years later. And talking about his return.
Yeah, I'm like, where's the middle?
Oi.
So not so much embarrassing things that Farewell had done, but maybe embarrassing in the fact that all those childhood experiences that your character had, he's not had. And then that kind of makes sense considering the person that you know.
Yeah, I'm like,
and associate with.
I'm like, where?
Yeah, you won't find anything too juicy in there. I've looked many a time. There's nothing.
That explains why they were out of order.
Thank you so much for the bits, Mr. Evil.
I mean, I would have expected you to at least have put them back in the right place, but...
Well, I did. I put it back where I was finding them.
Yeah, but equally for you, it's a very small caravan and you don't have the benefit of being quite so small. You're a lot easier to spot in these confined spaces.
I mean, you are just literally right there looking at the book. It's not very hidden.
Yes, I wasn't hiding it.
Yeah, that's why I keep all the other embarrassing stuff where you will never find it.
Yeah, you say that
Well,
one day. One day.
Well,
Challenge accepted is what that tail flick means, Farewell.
that is it.
I know, and do you know what the wonderful thing is? It'll just drive her more and more insane the longer it
I
goes.
cast detect thoughts.
Okay, what's the saving throw?
It just went PvP.
No, there's no saving throw. I read your surface thoughts, or if you're thinking about where they are, which you probably are when you're talking about them, I now know where they
She
are.
used the orange penguin on you. That is a low blow, Corinne.
I would say actually Farewell's surface thoughts would not be where he's hidden them, but more along the lines of how much enjoyment he's getting at the fact that Eclipse has just gone, tell me. I must know. Where is it?
Must
And
know.
then there's a deep amusement and then thinking, now I've really got to find a good place to hide these things. And that's about as much as you maybe will get at the moment unless you push more.
Well, what is it, Farewell? What is your response thought to me asking where is it?
Is there any verbal or somatic components to this?
Oh yeah,
This-
there's. Let me check what the components are.
So I'm not metagaming. I'm just trying to play it
Yeah.
very
Yeah,
straight.
yeah.
He's got a good Arcana score, at which
Yeah.
point he goes, "You're using that on me."
Yes, there
Well,
is a
the fact that I
verbal
know-
and somatic component, so I do something and say, what is it?
Are you doing that read my mind thing?
No.
I think, are you doing that read my mind thing?
Yes. No, I'm not thinking. No, I am not doing your read of my
Deception
thing.
versus his ridiculous insight.
Well, I had double proficiency in deception.
Oh shit, you're both
and,
good at this, aren't you?
I
Yeah.
have reliable talent, so.
Well,
Oh, no. That's a 9, so reliable talent goes off. So, that is a 21.
23.
ha!
Yep, the cat's lying.
Plus 9 on the dice, natural 4. Sorry, plus 14 on the dice, plus 9 for the skill.
Yeah.
It is very rude to read your friend's thoughts.
What are they? What are they?
The cat just completely ignores you.
Cat does not care about social construct when there is blackmail to be had.
And then when you know, I'm gonna like. No, I'm not gonna push him too much.
I was going to say you can push, I'll make the saving throw. It's
Yeah,
completely...
yeah, I'm gonna push. See,
Alright,
she
okay.
is into this now. She's like, yes, I want to know where they are.
Okay,
What's
so
the
you are
saving
aware
throw?
that she's pushing deeper into your mind.
Yes.
Okay,
Uh,
what's the saving throw I've got to make?
The saving throw is a It's probably
Intelligence?
wisdom. Which
I
is
really
good.
hope it's a wisdom one because that's a +9, baby.
I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure
I
it
was
is.
gonna say I'm not relishing
Expecting
my
great things
chances,
here.
No.
Well,
Person.
while that conversation is
wisdom
happening,
saving throw.
Glory
Okay.
is basically walking around studying the runes around the walls
25.
Yeah,
while
you say.
giggling because, oh my god, she is actually doing it.
As
Oh
I say,
dear.
there are no runes. They're mostly marks done superstition.
Thank you so much for the bits.
Well, not. Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
They're carvings.
Yeah, the carvings, yeah. Okay.
Carvings that can be looked at and studied for now. Until I can talk to Farewell when Eclipse is done with him.
Speaking of which,
yeah,
Farewell, make your roll.
But he did. It was
I did.
25. So
25.
that's fine.
Yeah.
And
You
I
feel this
assume like the
presence.
minutes has elapsed that the spell is up. But now,
Okay.
now I'm gonna go with sulk in the
Really,
corner.
really, really funny. I cast Banishment on Eclipse. Charisma saving throw.
Yeah, she has to do a
DC
saving
18,
throw. Charisma.
Charisma, yeah.
which you might be pretty good at.
Well, that's a 4 on the dice, so no.
It's
I
just like
sulk.
tempestuous
in-
cat.
Yeah, and I sulk for a minute in the bed.
I sent her. Where would I send her? That wouldn't be too terribly cruel.
I don't think you get to choose. I think
No,
I get
it's a harmless demiplane because I'm native to this plane of existence.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
send me to a harmless demiplane.
So, yeah, Eclipse. First time I've ever been able to do this, so I'm quite pleased. Yeah, Eclipse. Suddenly the world goes pop as you kind of get this feeling like someone's pushed you. You know how someone just nudges your shoulder, you get that moment of discombobulation because someone's kind of moved your perspective. But what's happened is that you try to get it so that that moment of blurriness goes away, and it doesn't. You can see that around you there's kind of a really blurry version of what you expected. So you can see a rough outline of whatever Cora and Farewell are doing immediately after he banishes her, probably laughing. You can see a tall, colorful figure walking around, not even noticing that you've gone, and kind of studying the thing, which you can presume is Felicia. Not Felicia,
Glory.
is Glory.
Glory, yeah.
You can see the hulking spire of the Raven Queen Temple, again completely blurred and slightly off angle, and all the spatial stuff is different. Like the church feels too close, the caravan feels too far, the trees around you just seem like a little too stretched out and things, and everything is blurry. And if you pace around this harmless demi-plane, it's around about
I'm actually incapacitated while in the harmless demiplane. It says so specifically in the spell.
you can't do anything.
No.
But your perspective can. You kind of are walking
Yeah.
around in your mind's eye.
Yeah.
But you can't actually do anything. You're kind of walk.
I'm
it's
just walking
Like
around.
those
Yeah.
computer games where you're going through the tutorial and they've switched off all the functions. You can
Yeah.
look around, you can walk around, but there's fuck all else you can do.
Yeah, my
and-
spells are
yeah.
not working. I can't
Yeah.
do anything.
And
I,
you're
like,
just kind of
claw the air.
walking around in this slightly trippy, slightly blurry, what you're guessing is about a 30-foot radius ellipsoid. Maybe. It's certainly not like a square or anything. It's really fuzzy. It doesn't necessarily have walls, but after a while, you start walking in one direction and distance just becomes obsolete.
Welcome. to the
You're still
organization.
walking, but you're just not moving.
Thanks so much for the follow.
So you've been put into the bad kitty box.
So, too much.
I don't know.
Thank
What did you
Neil.
just do?
I
Did you
do
just-
hope I terrify you.
Go on. What do you say?
Too much. I mean, I only
It
temporarily.
depends where you send her, I guess.
Oh, it's just a harmless demi-plane. She can't actually get hurt or do anything, and she'll be back in
I sit down and
40
sulk.
or so seconds.
Enola, No, not Enola, sorry.
Eowyn.
Eowyn. Eowyn goes, you put a cat in a place where there's nothing for her to do.
Yeah, but she kept poking inside of my head, and that was a bit
She's
rude.
going to be crazy when she comes out.
I mean, there's a lot worse things I could have done, in honesty. I don't have most of them prepared today, but I
To
figured
be
that
fair, a harmless demiplane is hardly a punishment.
Which
mean, at
unfortunately
least it
she
wasn't
doesn't really learn
oubliette.
from her mistakes, as we know with the oubliette. So
Yeah.
we need to.
Anyway, yeah. Oh, Cora, you might want to stand a couple of spaces to
Yep.
the right. That was where Eclipse was.
Yep. Okay.
And she's gonna either be on you or through you, or there's some.
No,
weird
that
stuff
would be
in it.
weird.
Yeah,
I
that'd be
will- I
Really,
will-
really weird.
I back right up and sit back in the chair that I was in before and just wait for
Thank you
Eclipse
so
to
much for
appear
bits.
again.
Yeah,
Whilst
Yeah,
this is going on, Glory, give me an intelligence roll.
Oh boy, me and intelligence. That's
Carry
not
on,
where
carry
I
on talking.
look at it. Oh dear, it's here. Okay.
I assume Eclipse is gonna
Decent,
reappear
plus
right now.
3. That's
20
a-
seconds.
Oh,
15.
plus 3.
Yeah,
So
she's a very
that's
curious
a
cat.
30, 20.
There's some sort of strange iridescent fleck in the varnish. As you look at it, it looks like someone's put like glitter, but the glitter's like too fine and not shiny enough. It just, slightly speckled. At which point, bloop, a cat falls out of the air right in front of Farewell.
Welcome back.
Yeah,
What have we learned?
I hiss at him and then I go sit in the corner and sulk.
Yep, that's what I thought.
Farewell.
Consent is important. Yes, Glory.
Would you mind telling me who was the one
He
who
seems to-
enchanted the carriage initially?
No one. My dad made this, and he was just a carpenter. We didn't have mages. I mean, mages kind of joined the caravan because, lots of clerics and other kind of fighters and rangers and, and those sorts of things. And we were always traveling somewhere and something, and often people would book passage with us for protection, merchants and, fair few tabaxis would come with us for a while just to travel to some places they'd never been before. But as far as I'm aware, nothing.
I'm
Oh.
still in the corner pretending to ignore Farewell. But you can see the ears like go backwards.
Yeah.
You say tabaxi?
Yes. The ears go
Oh.
backwards as she's listening, but
Well,
she's
that's-
pretending.
Unfortunate. I would have liked to speak with the one who did this, because I can assure you, the caravan is most certainly enchanted.
With what?
Now that will be very interesting to find out. Could be natural causes though. As you said, your family traveled a lot, and it is somewhat normal for objects to pick up on things, especially magic.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't usually do a lot of that kind of magic. It was usually the
Yes,
Kind.
exactly. I don't know if you know the theory behind it, but for example, a sword that has been used to kill a lot of people will be easier to enchant with, well, death magic, necrotic, and such, while things that are used to heal others are easier to do that type of enchantments on. The objects, they learn from what they're used for. Many
so
enchanters
Traveling?
use that for it.
I was gonna say sleeping, but traveling actually is the more sensible and smart word to use.
I mean, an enchantment that makes you sleep, unless you're really bad at sleep. Well, you do have dreams sometimes, right? So maybe maybe bad
yeah.
dreams runs in the family, but it feels like faster travel or something might makes sense if you're traveling a lot, but you never remember bamfing places or anything like that.
Slow rumble. I mean, I always remember being
Protection,
able
maybe.
to sleep properly here.
Mm,
Sleeping
there
was
is
always
sleep.
easy here.
Dreamlessness, perhaps. Either
Right.
way, I will have quite fun picking this apart and figuring it out while I try and add on to it.
I only ask you don't do anything disruptive. This is one of a kind, and I do not have the skills to fix it.
Oh no. I won't do anything like that. It's just I need to understand what it's already made to do before I can add on the enchantments we want.
And if you find the thing, make sure you don't tell Eclipse.
Of course, farewell.
Thank you.
Don't tell me I will slit your throat in your sleep.
Hey,
That's
Eclipse,
a rather
remember the heart of
extreme
Juradan? Do you remember there's a
the
heart?
I mean,
The heart of
We-
Jonathan,
Yeah,
yes.
we need to go
Yeah.
find that. We need to find that. Really important.
Which
I
is
saw a
why
guy
we
walking with
need
it down
to
there. Go
fix
catch
up
him.
Juradan, so
And
that
there's
we
some
can
jars
travel
that-
with it to find all the pieces of Juradan.
Yeah, so you should be totally planning the next trip because we're
Yes,
you know once
yes,
this
I
is ready
should.
to go,
And
we
I
gotta
bring out my
go.
notebook and I start writing.
how did we get to that escalated quickly, right?
I was trying to distract her with something else. Go with it, for goodness sake.
Oh, sorry.
It
Yes.
worked.
Plan.
It worked,
And I
Cora, dear.
I take a deliberate step backwards, open one of the cabinets, shuffle something inside, and then close it again.
Eclipse is now completely engrossed in whatever she's writing.
Oh, silly.
So, how long is an enchantment gonna take? Going to I'm
Few
assuming it's not
weeks.
this afternoon.
Perhaps a month or two.
Oh blimey.
Depending on how complex it is. The more complex an enchantment is, the longer it will take. Some of the best work that's out there take years to create. But I don't think this will take quite that long. Though,
Yes, mistress. If it's only a simple folding and then using the space, rather than looking at specific space, I think it shouldn't take very long at all.
That's such a
So-
creepy ass.
So,
Yeah.
okay, so you're
correct.
doing this for a bit, and is there anything else that we need to do? Can I help with anything? I kind
Well-
of feel like I'm not doing anything.
well, of course you can help me out. I will be needing someone to run errands while I do the work, collecting materials, as well as maybe running some notes by the university if I need, asking another fellow peer about their ideas around it.
Miss
Basically,
Cora might be interested in getting hold of the residuum, being that the conversations
Oh,
I've heard
yes.
so far lead her in that direction in order for her to enact her own form of vengeance.
Besides, we're gonna need a lot of residium for this. Was there
Right.
something with that you wanted to do, Cora?
Maybe she thinks
Fellow
real
gets his book
hard.
out and just goes straight to the front and starts working through the book, going residium, residium, residium.
I thought we
residium,
dealt with
residium."
that, the red powder
Yeah, I
stuff.
thought we dealt with that. Yeah.
Well, as they
Farewell.
do-
You, as you're flicking through your notes, you are reminded, because your note taking is the effective of the eidetic memory feat from World of Darkness, is that you made a line between the original discovery of red residuum and the rift that appeared in the mine that was being run by Ola Soraka.
Ah, yes.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, there was something about that from a while ago.
Yes. And we need to go and talk to...
So, Farewell, this is the route we need to take to get the most efficient route to find all the canopic doors.
Great.
I look over it. I reckon you could save maybe 2 or 3 days if you go this to here rather than there to there. That's forest, and that's a lot of bandits or problems. But if you scoot around here, that's usually...
Oh, yes, I have to read the entire thing. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
It's just like a laser. It's just a laser.
What's a laser?
It's like kind of the
It's
light
that
stuff
cantrip,
that
isn't it?
people throw out. It's a bit like the firebolt I do. It's kind of like that, but like constant. If you did a lot of firebolts in front of us, you'd be incredibly distracted.
Now, a permanent firebolt that's always shooting. That is a good idea, Cora. I will have to write that down.
Haven't you heard of that cantrip, Swift on Sands Distracting Light Beam? It's great.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
We're creating more Tabaxi lore by the minute.
That does remind me, Cora. We probably should check in with Hobra, actually, as I kind of asked her to look in on Ola Soraka, find out what they were up to and where they were hiding, and because I figured you might wanted to have dealt with that, but world-ending shenanigans, krakens.
Yeah, I
Pegasus
mean, I'm very easily
interplanar
distracted
war.
by the little things like that. Yeah. I mean, yeah. We should probably look into that. Okay, well, that's something I can do.
Either way, as soon as we get back, I should be able to get to work on this. Farewell.
Sure, and if we're going back in the mine, I guess the easy thing to do would be to see if we can pick up some samples.
Exactly.
Okay.
Out of curiosity, mistress, what school of magic is this enchantment?
Might be a good idea to figure out. I'm gonna start looking around to see where
Sure.
the hotspots are and what.
I really need to have that art to hand of you of the picture you've done with Glory looking through her eye. You bring your hand over your eye, and the jeweled arcane focus on the back. You start looking through the star opal on the back. You can see that the enchantment has elements of abjuration and what would that be?
Chronomancy. Dun dun dun.
Mostly abjuration with some transmutative effects.
Interesting combination.
Abjuration is protective spells, isn't it?
Yep.
For the most part, it's mostly used for protection, but abjuration is barriers, wards, a little bit of alteration from the old Elder Scrolls as well in how it protects you sometimes, because sometimes it has some transmutative effects like stone skin and things like that.
Interesting. This is fascinating.
The schools of magic in D&D are more to do with what the spell does and not how it does it.
Yeah.
Whereas in Elder Scrolls, it's more about how it does it.
We are learning so much today, chat. I'm just racking my brain about what it could do to the caravan with that type of magic. Altering appearance, perhaps keeping it looking as it should so you don't have to take care of it as much. Would be useful if you're always on the road.
It's pretty tough. It's pretty hardy, but Farewell may have always put that down by the fact that his father was a bloody good, if not master, carpenter.
You're saying some of this out loud, I'm just going to assume.
Yeah.
So maybe if it changes appearance, maybe it's to hide it when you're on the road so you don't get attacked.
Or when we're parked
Possible.
up.
That's what I mean. Yeah,
And
when you're parked up for the night.
Yeah, hard to ambush something when
Yeah.
it's.
Well, the more you can tell me about your history with this, the better. But then again, there are probably some things you just won't associate with magic since you've lived in it for so long.
Yeah. A long time.
You know, Eclipse says now she's finished rebroading her thing and she's now listening to what others are saying as well.
It's I really don't know what to say. Again, I was a baby when it was made. It was one of those weird things. It was kind of like made on the road. You know what I mean? They used to pull it behind. It was part of them. When I was old enough to be able to be trusted to sleep on my own, I got to move in here. And I've been in here ever since. Just me.
Yeah, I know that feeling.
Just slept in here and studied in here, and I think the only thing I didn't do was eat in here. Mum was very particular about that.
Always eat with the family.
Yeah, mealtime was family time. You weren't allowed to eat on your own.
And you can't bring the books to the dinner table. That is rude.
Or the skeleton bits. Or the...
Why would you
Yeah.
bring skeleton to the dinner table?
Because
Nor
how
can you bring the
learn about it?
acid. If
Yes.
when you can't show up your latest spell at the dining table, that also is a bad thing.
No magic at the dining table. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
No stabbing your cousin if he's coming over for tea.
That too. That
It's
too.
What
bad
to?
form.
What to?
Yeah,
Oh,
what to?
no stabbing your cousins when they come over for tea.
Okay, that's definitely where our shared experience.
Yes,
is.
that's where your dystopian like family comes in, and
Yeah, there was certainly
It
no.
wasn't that bad, and most of my cousins and I are actually on semi-friendly terms.
it was Glory, whatever year it is. What year is it, Simon? It's 758.
Oh god, yeah, just spring that on me. It's
Yeah, hold on. Yeah, what year is it?
it's 857 NO, I think it is, or 75 NO.
Yeah.
Just throw that on me.
Remember
on a
that?
Friday.
Write that down.
Yeah. None of us are going to remember that one.
I know, not too.
I think it's 875 New Order at the
Yeah,
moment.
it's Glory 875. It wasn't that bad.
Well, it
You know
doesn't
what? We
sound
haven't been
that
attacked
bad.
by your cousin recently. Is that due anytime soon? Do you think?
Yeah,
When
it's
he
that
sent
due.
that
Are we gonna
winged
No.
Excellence.
Demons? thing.
Oh, most likely.
Was the
Oh,
demon
great!
sent by? Was that
Great!
demon sent by Excellence? Or
Wait,
was
wait,
it the
I
fact
don't know if
that
it was a
Glory
demon. That winged
spurned
thing with the thing that killed us.
No, that
like
was a
tried to kill us.
demon. But
Yeah,
like,
okay.
Yeah,
I
that's
thought,
he sent it on us.
I think
So
so.
the
I
demon
thought it
almost
was
killed
because it was
us?
a jealous. I thought it was a jealous spouse of somebody that you put.
Oh
you
yes,
put
that
into bed.
that is how
Rather
he
than
contacted it.
So
he
that's
found
how he got the
someone who had been
Yes.
who believed themselves to have been wronged by me and used their jealousy to summon the demon and then set it on my trail. Which
Something
I mean,
like that, yeah. He just whispered in
Yeah.
someone's ear who she'd pissed off and said, well, she's there, do this, or something. I don't know. It's a weird... I don't remember much, except...
Oh, it's fine. He won't try anything there. Besides, I'll
Great!
probably have to dance with him. That'll be
Why?
wonderful.
Uh,
Ugh.
That
They're gonna let you
I
get
have
that close
very much.
to...
I've very much learned that why is not the question that you ask. You just smile. No.
Yes.
No.
Yeah,
Of
more often
course
than not,
you will do
yes.
this
You
very
smile,
weird thing.
You do the thing, and then you go back to ignoring each other. Besides, I practically grew up with a guy. It's complicated.
Do you want me
clearly.
to kill him in his sleep? Is that what you want? I can probably do that.
No,
You're very
that
violent.
wouldn't set
today.
the example right.
I think
I
the cat is getting
I
itchy
haven't
toes.
been able to stab anything in a long time. I'm really itching for it.
Yeah, me too. We really need to get
But
going on
besides, killing
something.
people in their sleep is so classless.
It is a little passé.
Does anybody else like every sort of like couple of minutes just get this like cold shudder and then
Yes.
Glory says something?
Yes.
Yes.
And
yes.
she goes slightly like dulled, like she's
Glazy-eyed. Yeah, like
what
she's
is
talking to something
happening? It
else.
just makes
Of course I am.
I get goosebumps and I don't
Goosebumps.
understand why.
It's the
What are
same
you
as
doing,
when
Glory?
Cora is talking to Awen.
You have a familiar?
Yes, I showed
Well,
him to you.
Yeah, we can see him.
He's here.
We can see him.
Yeah, you've
Oh.
always seen this dark
Well-
shadow around her shoulders, but you may not have put two and two together. It could just be a magical effect. But yeah, she's got this strange, semi-translucent, like dark ghost around her,
So you
thing.
talk
I just
with
to
always
that.
burning purple eyes. No, she's always had it.
I just, to be honest, I just thought that was a fashion thing.
Oh. Yeah, that's fair. He is really fashionable.
I'm a pretty
No.
boy.
That's
See,
yours.
I just got it again. I just got it again. Yeah.
Yes.
See, is that every time he says something, we just get that weird feeling? Because
Yes.
it's really creepy. I'm glad I can't hear his
Yes.
voice, because that would be even worse.
Yes,
Yeah,
it would be so
you
much
should-
worse.
Hey, don't be rude.
I'm
Some
not being
people
rude.
don't have the spice.
Okay, that just I'm like just gonna go for a walk outside for a second. I'm
Yeah.
just gonna jump down the thing and just breathe some fresh air.
Just yes.
But yeah, I mean, there are a lot of things you don't do at the dining table, as we were discussing. But all those rules may be broken by Mother whenever she feels like it, because it's Mother and she sets the rules. Have you ever had that,
so
Farewell?
should we just do whatever your mother does? Is that what we're supposed to do?
No, do what she says, not what she
No.
does. That's the rule.
Yes.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
do
there's
as
a
she
little
says,
bit
not
of that.
what she
but
does.
To be fair, I learned very quickly at an early age that adults are just as deeply flawed as anybody else, and so you kind of learn to forgive that very quickly.
Technically, we are all adults.
I
We
can't wait
are.
to see if one of your mother's attendants will be with her at the time that they meet her. It'll be such an interesting experience.
What?
I just
I had it again. I hate it so much.
You just come outside and you don't get it as badly if you're just outside the door. I think it's being close by.
Yeah,
It
well,
just sends some
I
sort of
just
weird
remember
ripple
the fact that
effect.
there are some things I might need to warn you about so you don't react badly at the party.
Oh, now you
Me
think
or
you
her?
could?
Now
say
was the time. Yes.
Well, it's
I
definitely.
mean, are you talking to all of us or just one of us in particular?
No, you, Farewell.
Oh.
Oh,
If you see anything that is headless walking around, don't mind it. Just don't think about it and it'll be fine, okay?
Use your ability where you can detect that. And
You
then-
know how I feel about necromancy, right?
Yes, I know, but technically we don't have any necromancers. We just
Technically-
have
realise that
people
I'm not
who
going to
use the
argue
items
semantics.
they loot off of necromancers. Such as when we kill things and we take their swords, or we take their bows, or we take their magical items. You know, the usual.
So
And no
why
more
do you have a...
necromancers in Atalzaran, because the last one is trapped in your mother's sword.
Is this a there's no war in Ba Sing Se situation, Glory?
Yeah.
It's more of Atalzaran doesn't have any necromancers. My mother made sure of it.
Technically. If you have to use the word technically, then
No,
it's
we
not
don't
really-
have any necromancers.
Mm.
But there are items with necromantic properties, such as my mother's sword, which she looted off of a really powerful necromancer. It was his life's work, you see.
Does
Would be
it
a
turn
shame
people
not to
into
use
zombies?
Only her latest kill.
Farewell.
So
Did
every
you
time
learn
she
last
kills something
time-
new, the last one just falls over, you know? She rode in to her wedding on a headless chimera. It was amazing, according to legend.
Like his whole thing is about not like the desecration of death, which is your
We
mother's entire
have to
thing.
ignore everything that we feel when we go there. Just go in there completely numb, and leave
And
completely
only talk
numb.
about the heart of Jordan.
Just
you
I'm
guys can
not
do
going
it
to talk
too.
about anything. Just nothing.
That also works. But yes, I thought
You
I
don't
would
want to give people
warn
who can use it against you your
beforehand, Farewell,
desires.
because I know you would not take that well if you saw it at the for the first time when we got there.
There's just this moment where you can just see his head just like very gently bashing against one of the cabinets as he's just stood there going.
Please tell me we're only going for a few days, right?
Oh, we will only be there for the day. We can return in the evening, though I doubt.
That's
We will be
fine.
arriving in the morning because I have already arranged it with the university, so we can take the transportation for proper measures. And we will have someone meet us at the portal in Kotal so that we can be taken to the main house, because we need to get ready, change our clothes, and have all of the necessary attachments made. I've already sent a letter to our gardener to prepare the correct flowers for our entourage, as it is, you see, we kind of have this thing where a guest wear flowers symbolizing which part of the family you are with, as well as the color of the person you are associated with. So I had to have the gardeners especially make these perfect oleanders in the correct shade of red to match my horns that you guys will be wearing on your clothes.
What's an oleander?
Oh, it's my favorite flower. We have an entire garden with them. They are really pretty and usually very pink and white. And they contain a really potent neurotoxin that Hope loves to use in her.
There we go. That's why.
Yeah, there we go.
And Hope really loves to use them in her potions.
There we go.
You want us to put that on our person?
Of course.
I mean, I assume it's only like venom and poisonous if you eat it.
Yes, exactly. It only hurts you if you consume it, and besides, small doses doesn't do that much.
I'm going to need a jewel encrusted bowl worth 1,000 gold, and I'm going to need it before the night before we leave, because I do have a plan that how we're going to survive this event.
I have a feeling that we might have to do that pretty soon then, because isn't it in like 2 days?
Oh, we're leaving tomorrow.
Oh!
All right,
Okay,
so now
right,
let's
okay,
go.
Right, okay, so we need one of those.
I need a
It's
hip
just the
flask with
flowers,
some
right?
alcohol in it.
Well, I've already commissioned these suits. They have been made according to your status. So Chorus has been made to accommodate the fact that she is a knight of the Summer Court. Farewell
I get
will
to
be
wear-
representing the Raven Queen Order.
I get to wear a burlap sack.
No, of course not, Eclipse. You're there as a dignitary because we're there to pick up your sister as well.
Yes, that's...
Yes?
What do these things look like?
Oh, they're quite tasteful. I made sure to make them less like what we usually wear and slightly
What
more
we
meridian
usually
in
wear?
design.
I don't think that is an appropriate use of the term we. After what
Oh,
happened last time.
Do you mean like our clothes we're wearing now, where we're like kind of dirty, like
Oh, that's
traveler
happened.
clothes?
No, you will be wearing something stylish, but it's not a growling suit, I promise.
It's the magical girl outfits.
Farewell. The fact that you managed to clone yourself recently, could you try that again so that we could just send
Yeah,
a clone
see,
and
all
we
of
don't
us,
have
please,
to actually
yeah.
go? That
Yeah.
would be great.
you watch as like Farewell's armor does that Iron Man thing where it all just sort of like click, 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 disappears like off down his arm, and he's got that like little rune of returning, and I'm just frantically like slapping at it. Just going, come on, damn you!
That's not how those work very well. You can't use it. It only works on the person for the person that used it on you.
Actually, do we know where you would go if you suddenly bamfed so that we can actually maybe come and get you if we need to? Because you could just disappear at any point, and that would be freaky and weird.
Yeah, the elemental plane of water would be where I would end up. Hold on.
Right.
That would demand some planning. But I have already commissioned us a pair of water breathing necklaces. So that should be fine. I suppose we could get ourselves summonable underwater mounts for the time being. Those cost a pretty penny, but you can usually rent them from a university that trusts you.
I could possibly
the guy's
summon
name
that
is,
sort of thing.
Demetus. He's the archmage.
Demetus?
Yeah,
Demetus in the water plane.
An archmage?
Oh, Glory, history check, please, or Arcana, whichever is fine.
He liked to call himself Demetus of the plane of elemental water.
Oh, right,
really?
like,
but that is a
Demetus,
natural
like
20.
Yeah, you've heard of Demetus. Just
Well, why didn't you tell me that? Demetus, are you serious? I have read his work.
He's an asshole.
He's
Well,
a
what do you
dick.
he calls himself Demetus. Of course he's an asshole.
Well, Archmage Demetus of the plane of elemental water.
That just adds to the assholery.
Exactly.
Oh dear.
I mean, at least he's not a little goblin dickhead who thinks necromancy is the way to sort of solve the world, but you know.
Why do you hate? Mac is a really cool guy. I don't get why you hate him so much.
The man is a complete twat.
Felicia, Glory, knows that Demetus is a master of enchantment, of evocation, of conjuration, and of biomancy.
His work on enchantment is really amazing, not to mention the biomancy. I mean, I studied some of it during my upbringing since Auntie wants me to know how to work the troops in case something goes wrong.
I'm pretty sure I don't know if this is the right way to put it, but I'm pretty sure I'm wearing his work.
You are, which makes it even more amazing. I'm gonna have to...
No.
No, honestly,
No. That's a hard no. We no.
Fine, okay. But you can introduce me, right? You have to introduce me.
Sure. Whenever the crazy old Genasi Archmage decides he wants to pull me back into the plane of elemental water, I will totally mention you and do the introduction when you come and get me.
Oh, farewell. That is so sweet.
He's gonna pull you back in a really, really bad time. Like,
Yeah.
Oh, most likely.
Yeah.
Like, the only
At
reason
the
to pull
worst-
you in is because he needs you to, like, you know, fight something, or, you know, that it's gonna be a shitty time, and we aren't gonna be able to just bamf there and suddenly breathe water and help you. I'm not liking this situation at all.
Look.
I kind of didn't want to have to go and argue the toss about how to get back to our plane with somebody else, so I figured he might know how to change planes, and he did. And I offered to tell him about Fate Render and Veilbreaker, sorry. and he was very, very interested in finding out about it.
Well, yeah, it's quite the amazing magical artifact, and the fact that it comes from the realm of the dead just makes it more interesting.
I mean, if he
Any
just wants to
scholar
know,
of any proper pursuit would be interested in it.
I mean, if he only wants to know about your knife, then I don't see that as so much of a problem. Just
Oh, well,
because knowledge
isn't
is
it good that we contact him and say, let's arrange a meeting and we sit down for dinner or something and you tell him about the knife rather than we're in the middle of some battle with some kraken or something like that, hypothetically, and then he bamfs you out just when, somebody's dying and needs helping? I'm just putting it out there. Just putting it out there.
Oddly specific.
I'm just thinking that if he's dictating when you disappear, it might not be very convenient.
I mean, I can try, but all of my talky stuff requires to be on the same plane of existence.
Yeah.
We could ask my aunt if
send-
she has contact with the plane of elemental waters. We will be there tomorrow.
Sending can actually go between planes. It is. I think it's a 1% chance.
I
of
know
it
that.
Mm.
You don't.
I was telling Nick in case Nick
I know.
didn't
No, Nick knows. Yeah,
Nick knows. Okay,
Nick
that's
knows.
fine.
Nick knows.
Right.
Nick is aware.
Yeah.
So you've been told that you're going to be going to effectively an Addams Family christening.
I don't want it.
You have discussed that at some point, and I haven't rolled the appropriate numbers, and I roll every second, for when Demetrius is going to call you back. Yeah, I roll 2 dice. One to see if it triggers, and the other one to see when it triggers.
Remember, though, I have my brick.
You do have your brick.
And every day I do forbiddance for 10 minutes because I want to knock up my 30 days so that I get 24 hours on the brick, and then after 30 days it's permanently enchanted that nobody can pull me out or teleport in unless I let them. I have my little brick of...
And it's going to
fuck you,
piss
I'm
him off like
staying.
you won't believe.
It is my brick of fuck you, I'm not moving. And that's the sole reason I'm
Try
doing
later,
this. I'm just like,
bitch.
it's
Farewell's
the-
brick of forced consent. Send an invite, bitch.
Yeah. Exactly. Fuck you, buddy. Who the fuck do you think you are?
Okay.
Yes.
So, yeah, you know that the following day is the impending teleportation to Atol's map.
Okay.
Preparations.
Bowl.
Yes, bowl. Let's
Bowl.
get a bowl. Let's go to Renata and get a bowl because
Let's
you can
get
probably get
2.
one there.
Preferably 2.
Okay, I guess
Okay.
2 bowl. We'll go to Renata and get
Clips,
2 bowls.
you go get the bowls.
Yes. I run and get the bowls from Renata. and we
Okay,
probably
what
don't
bowls do you
roleplay
need?
That. Gem encrusted bowl. It's I
Worth
assume it's
1,000 gold.
Is it for what spell
Hero's
is it for?
Feast.
Hero's Feast. Yeah.
Okay.
A gem encrusted bowl worth at least 1,000 gold, which is the spell consumes.
And so, yeah, you go to, first of all, you meet up with Kosambagle.
Yeah.
Miss Eclipse, how can I help you today?
I'm here to put the requisition order in.
By all means, please go through to the requisition clerk.
Yeah. I go and I put the order in and say I need it now.
Requisition.
I like to think that we're all stood in the doorway, just looking round.
Yeah.
Just like,
You're doing great, sweetie.
There's a. Do you speak Undercommon?
Yes.
You do. Okay. In that case, you recognize because the languages that you speak come with some background, cultural knowledge, because you would learn that whilst you're learning the language. You can see that a ash-skinned, by which I don't mean. I mean I've had 1 or 2 dwarves of color before. This is literally like a ash gray skinned, slightly red-eyed, and silver to white bearded dwarf. That once you walk around the corner, you notice is a Dwergar. And he's pouring over there. He's got a pince nez just down over his things. He goes,
Yes,
one of that hook and harness lot, doesn't it?
Yes, and I will greet him in Undercommon to see if he speaks it.
A series of guttural language comes through and goes, "Oh, how very kind of you to speak in a tongue that you think I would be comfortable with. I speak it, but I think I probably have only had a few hours of conversation in my entire life with that language. But no, it would be good practice. I'm not offended. I know it was meant with only the best intentions. What can I get for you?
We would like to put a requisition order in for this. It's for this spell.
He looks at this. Yes, the hero celebration. Several different versions of that spell, but all pretty much requiring the same thing, the toasting chalice. Yes, okay. These are the forms you'll need to fill out. How many will you be needing?
Should I get 2 or should 1? 2. If I can get 2, then great. If I can't, this one will be fine.
2 is quite a high order.
Yeah, so if that's not possible, I'll
When
just...
do you need it by? We would have to commission it, and we'd also have to find out what you intend to do with it. If this is just for some sort of arcane piss-up, you understand. I doubt that Renata will sign off on it.
No, it's so we survive Skullra.
I'll put the requisition order in straight away. And you watch as he reaches out to a rubber stamp and pump.
I love that they're so scared of Glory's family. It makes it all so much better to play like this.
I'm sure Renata appreciates you putting inroads to that place, but frankly, it's a frightening shithole. I'll have it sorted out for you, lass. It's okay.
Thank you so much.
And thank you for trying out the and you can see he's struggling with the word, the dialect, I guess it would be. I was trying to say the word, and he says in common, lexicon, but I'm pretty sure that's the word.
Language?
Anyway, never mind. We will see what we can do with regard to that. I'm pretty sure that she will say yes. And he says, we'll drop it up at the Hawk and Harness tonight if we can get both of them.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah, it might be you just get one now and another one in a week.
That's fine. If you can get one, that will be great. But if you can get both of them, that would be amazing.
Roll me a charisma check, please, with proficiency. It's a socialized check. Of which everybody's proficient.
Reliable talent goes off. So
you rolled bad.
Yes. I rolled bad. Is it because I got double proficiency on persuasion? Is it persuasion or is it...
No, this is socialized.
Socialized.
It is just charisma with proficiency.
Yeah. So persuasion is if you're trying to persuade him to do something that he's not willing to do. Socialized check is just, do they like you as a person?
Yeah. I'm actually going to use my luck here because the roll was abysmally bad, and I do want to, if I can, I'd like to get another one.
I'll give you a quick hint. This is not going to have huge effect. It was just a quick look-see.
Okay.
Yeah.
Still, I do like. Well, that was even worse. I'll take the
talent when her characters are liked by
don't get me
other
wrong.
Characters.
I'm happy for her to burn her luck points all she wants, but yeah.
So that is 17.
17. He goes,
3 plus 4.
Between you and me, it's actually dependent on whether or not she's willing to give up some of her personal supply. But I'll see what I can do for you.
And you can see as this slightly arthritic Dwergar gets up off his chair, puts the cap back on his inkwell very meticulously, checks out his desk, and grabs hold of what looks to be quite a heavy-looking walking stick to the side. But it's a walking stick that's kind of the thickness of a young tree, and it has a metal orb on the top. It looks like it should weigh easily upwards of about 10 kilos, if not more. But when he picks it up, not only does he pick it up easily, even though he looks slightly arthritic, but now he's holding it. He walks along at a pace almost unhampered by his age. And he
Must
goes
be
off.
like 300 years old.
Yeah, you can tell he's coming up to his 3rd century or into his 3rd century.
Yeah.
And yeah, he goes doddering off to Renata or whoever is above him.
Yeah.
But the requisition is in, so you'll find
I will return and say I put the requisition in, and hopefully we'll get it before the end of the day.
I tell you, once we have our own company and we're making our own money, then we don't have to like go begging to our mom for some pocket change. That would be great.
You do know
I love that you
incredibly
consider this
expensive and
pocket
rare
change
item,
now.
right?
It's not that rare. It's just expensive to get
It's
hold of.
expensive.
Yeah.
It's
I
not
expect we
rare.
could bamf to Nauru. We should
it's
have
just a
looked
bowl with
in the
jewels in it.
market. Yeah,
Yeah.
we should have looked when we
It's
bought
just
meatballs.
that I don't know about you, but I don't happen to have 1,000 gold.
No, on me, no.
You don't?
No, but that's
Yeah.
my point. Exactly. We
Oh.
don't.
And to be honest, the stronger we become, the more realm into the ridiculously expensive most of the stuff that I'm going to be able to do becomes.
Hmm.
So
I mean, I asked for some money from Naki the other day, and I got some. So my plan is to just keep asking for money, kind of daily, and just start pocketing, a bunch. But like I say, if we do it as our own business, that would be just preferable, because then, it's not relying on someone else saying yes or no. Plus, if we start trading, maybe we can like specifically trade for jewel encrusted trinket
we
things.
could do reagent trades and get a little sort of market going and doing our own thing. I mean, me and Glory finished the paperwork up, so we only have to put that in, and before you know it, we have a legitimate front. We'll have to figure out some signage and head down to the island for some time. And
Yes,
Glory,
I
you
have
do know that in
everything.
5 days' time, the teleportation circle to the island will be complete.
Oh, we need to wait about another week. This circle is almost done by my latest report on it. So if we go perhaps next week, I can set it up while we're there.
yeah, and if you think about it, that means we only have to survive 1 day in Skara, and that's going to be infinitely harder than fighting whatever we have to fight when it comes to the Juridan stuff. And then we've got a whole week that we can then bum around on a tropical island.
Yeah, we got a week to we can celebrate the week after, not dying, hopefully.
Of course, we're not gonna die.
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
Farewell's done that
again.
already anyway.
Again, ha 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 ha.
So.
Well, that was an unfortunate reaction to the fact that all of you thought it was a good idea to go into the water instead
Seriously,
of
I
staying
did
on
not
the
think it
boat
was a
like
good idea, but-
sensible.
Some of us can't wear heels and suddenly stand on a ship really well, like you could, so I kind of catapulted.
Man, I would have given anything to have seen that. That would have been so funny.
I would say if anybody's got the gams to be able to stay on a ship as the ship's going like that, it's Glory.
Well, it's the tail as well. It helps,
Yeah,
the
I should
balance.
imagine so. I should imagine that almost alligator thick tail lashed around the nearby post at the time.
It was
Yeah.
quite unpleasant, but
Okay. So I'm going to give you guys 10 minutes, because we're about to go into a break, to think about any other preparations you would like to do. And then after that, if you want, and if you don't, we're going to start heading over to Scum.
I figured that this part would end with the long rest, and then to Scour we go.
Yeah.
But I want to end it with the Heroes Feast. So our evening meal will be the Heroes Feast.
heroes
We can
feast.
do
It's
all
24 hours, isn't it?
It's 24 hours, yeah.
Cool.
So to get the absolute most out of it, we do it just before we go to bed. Go to bed a bit early, so we'll get up early, get the maximum time out of it. But it'll also make us immune to poison. Not that I'm paranoid.
Good idea.
we will have advantage on wisdom saving throws. We'll be
Yeah.
immune to fear,
I love,
and we'll be immune to poison.
I love that our very first Heroes Feast, unless Simon, vetoes it somehow, but it might, is just to go to essentially a christening. It's not because you're about to fight some big monster. It's just like, oh, we're going to go back to this place and have to talk to like almost in-laws and a little brat who's going to have his name changing day.
People.
And I just think it's kind of hilarious. I just think it's perfect
Tyrant
D&D.
is not a brat. He's a wonderful,
He
sweet
blew up
boy.
the west wing of the freaking mansion. I think he's definitely a brat.
And almost every one of us has done that once.
Yeah,
Your
he qualifies as a
grandfather
brat.
is a giant ancient black dragon. I think this is the most legitimate use of Heroes Feast I've ever had. Your cousin has tried to kill us once already.
Oh, he's tried to kill me dozens of times. It still hasn't worked.
Yes. But not us.
Yes. Once was enough. Once was too much.
Yes, once was very much too much.
Wait until you meet him. You thought you hated Merrick.
Oh, well, that can only end well. Well, that's dictated
And what's the
by
official way
loadout.
to like ask for a duel?
There are certain properties to it, but generally you keep to the same school. So if you're a mage, you fight with magic, and if you're a swordsman, you fight with swords. You are a stabber, so a duel would have to be done in your preferred school as well as his. His is magic, so usually he would dub a second that would fight you directly instead of himself, because then he would have to use his non-preferred school, and that is just fighting at a loss.
Okay, so
That's kind of stupid.
Yeah, stupid and dumb, and I'm not gonna do that. And mumble, mumble, mumble.
Mumble, 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 mumble.
Well, there goes the idea of casting fist.
Yeah, and knowing excellence, it won't be a family member he calls to fight for him. Anyway, let's go have a 10-minute break. I certainly need some more coffee because the week is catching up with me. And we will see you guys in 10 minutes' time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bye.
See you soon.
And welcome back, everybody. When we left off, I asked the players to give some thought as to what they would like to do before they go to Atol Saran.
And of course, we didn't do that because we just had a break and we were just talking.
Yeah, just had a break and things. Yeah, made a cup of tea, stare at a wall.
Yeah.
Kill them all.
So, Eclipse has got hold of, has requisitioned some nice jewel-encrusted bowls. You guys have the rest of the day before you port over to Atol Saran. What would you like to do?
Yeah.
Clips is gonna make a list of topics to avoid and topics to talk about. And the only thing that is under the topics
Glory
to talk
will
about...
once again go over the oyster fork discussion with Eclipse because she knows that Eclipse does still not remember it.
Yeah, but circled and underlined, this the only thing that's under topics okay to talk about section is the Heart of Duradine, nothing else.
At some point, I think I need to put in the Illyria guide, Glory's guide to using an oyster fork. Things like, don't bite the tip of the oyster fork unless you're in for a really interesting kind of thing. It's like...
Yes.
I don't know how many silly things we can think of what you can do with an oyster fork. But anyway.
Probably a lot, considering I came up with that one and we just ran with it.
Yeah.
I think there was some way you can start an interfamily war or something.
Yes.
Well, one is a proposal. You can cause
a blood feud, or you can propose to someone, depending on how you hold it.
Yeah, and Eclipse maybe I'll propose to Hope and see what happens.
Considering she's ace, that will go over great, I promise you.
Oh yeah. I mean, Eclipse used to want to do it to see what the look is gonna be on her face. Did she mean to do that? Is that really?
Yeah, she's either baiting me or she's an idiot.
Probably both.
Yeah, arguably both is on the table.
I'm gonna go hand in all our paperwork to legitimize our little operation. So I'm gonna go get that sorted.
So I was waiting for you to do that actually. So you go to the Merchants District and the Merchants Guild in particular, and you're registering your company. Are you registering your company as an independent or as a Vardencourt company?
Thoughts?
That is the thing. If we go Vardencourt, we are kind of stuck with the Vardencourt rules and regulations. If we're independent, we will be under more scrutiny when trading, but we'll be freer to do what we want.
I mean, to be fair, Vardencourt doesn't have many restrictions, considering most of their kingdoms allow slavery, so there's not much in restrictions to go on there.
Depends on what you define as restrictions. And Glory. Felicia, never mind Glory. Felicia, you nailed it. Without much prompting, that's exactly what it is. The independent, by the way, declares that your enterprise belongs to the free folk.
Yeah.
Who are the independent people living on the sea.
So the company belongs to them, not us? I'm confused by that.
No. The free folk is just a general term.
It's essentially what rules do we apply ourselves to?
Yeah. And what flags our ship would sail under?
That's mostly what they're interested in. What flag will you sail under?
It's kind of the reasons why you'd have an American company that ships everywhere, but all their ships say fly under Panamanian flags because of tax reasons.
Yeah.
So what are the different rules?
If you fly,
I wouldn't know what's best.
If you fly with the free folk, you are under protection of the seven sails, which might be more what you want if you're
considering where our operations will be based under.
Yeah.
And
we're already in with the Drowned Kings, so that kind of makes sense.
Yeah, and we made friends with a few of them and some of the other factions, and seems sensible to do it that way.
Yeah.
We'll go.
I'm all right with that.
We'll go independent.
Okay. So you go in. fill out the forms of a very officious half-elf. And they say to you, yes, of course, no problem at all. We can register that for you. You do realize that by not flying under the Vardencore flag, you will be subject to a little extra taxation. You will not be able to benefit from the formidable Vardencore Navy. However, you would also not be called up to support the Vardencore Navy.
Yeah, and to be fair, we know the Duke. I'm sure arrangements can be made as when required.
There's a kind of wrinkled brow as the half-elf goes, you know the Duke and yet you're not going to fly the flag. But knowing their place, because they're all about knowing their place, they say, of course. And there's a kind of a nod, either a glance or a nod over your shoulder as you fill it in. And they say, here we go. This is a deed recognizing that you are a registered company, that you're registered with the Joint Nations. And that's obviously only joint in terms of naval logistics. The Vardencore Empire stands alone when it comes to having a navy, but you will be recognized in Meridia, in Vardencore, in the Rebel Lands, by which they refer to North Vardencore, Sylvania, the Caltalins, Ginia, Skull. This will be a searchable entry into many logs that should, depending on how quickly you travel, remain ahead of you. In some cases, you may need to present this, and you may be subjected to a form of truth magic to obtain legitimacy. Very well. And there is a nod, and again, it's not to you. And when you turn around, farewell, there is a large female black dragonborn sat by the window. You could have sworn she wasn't there when you first came in, and she's grinning at you in a way that only a dragonborn can.
It's our friend.
You know that this is Lysana Shadowblade.
Yeah.
I recognize you. You were at the tavern not too long ago.
Well, I'm very recognizable, aren't I?
Well,
When she stands up and starts walking towards you, there's a definite winding and coiling of her body. You don't know if it's flirtatious or it's just generally how she moves, but there's certainly a serpentine quality.
I would have no idea.
It was like
Farewell would recognize it slightly from how Glory moves, because she also has that serpentine quality to her walk.
Yeah.
Whee!
And what is the name of this company, Mr. Bevans?
You know that that's really bad for your hips, right? It offsets them so they're not center, and that puts pressure on your lower back and top of your spine where it meets the skull, and you should really be quite careful about doing that.
She kind of looks away from you and then keeps going, almost owl-like. Her head doesn't move around very far, but a combination of her hips, her back, her shoulders, and then her neck, and she curls around perfectly 360 and goes, benefits of my genetics. And she slinks back around.
Even in Dragonborn, very, very bad. I mean, I've noticed that even with my own companion who has association with a similar walk, is much more square in how she moves now, whereas for yourself, very all over the place, and just with your humanoid structure.
Would that be Hosper by any chance?
Maybe. I don't really recognize the name, if I'm honest with you.
Sorry, Hecris. I got it wrong. Hecris. Would that be Hecris by any chance?
Hecris has the benefit of course, martial training. So for them, it's much more shouldered and chest, where you tend to find that there's a rolling in the cuff, which lends itself more to rotary tears than it does anything else. Also, there's an awful lot of dropped bone in the feet, of course.
You mean that she's built like a brick shithouse and she's a Western dragon?
No, she just likes to fight a lot, and
She's an Eastern.
and she doesn't tend to do what most people do, which is duck, dive, or dodge.
No. Hecris is very much a straightforward girl.
Handy in a fight, though.
Oh, yes. Yes, I've tussled with her many times. I've even fought alongside her.
At least we have that in common.
Yes, I'm a big fan of Hecris, and she's an occasional fan of mine. So, what was the name of the business again, Mr. Farewell? Mr. Bearbones? The business you just registered under our nation.
Well, if it is our nation, then shouldn't you already know the answer? And this isn't a pointless roundabout game.
I make it a policy of only listening into that which I am allowed to. I do know a lot about your business. After all, I'm in contact with Carlos.
In that case, you know exactly what you need to know.
You're gonna make
Why
me
are you
look
so
dumb.
cagey?
I was trying to get him to
Because
say it because I didn't have
other
enough.
people are probably
yes, the
listening
wandering-
in, and Farewell is a smart boy.
Farewell is a smart boy because when you play the Game of Thrones, you play to keep or you die, and I'm very much playing to win. And
Mhm.
so, and if she's as good as she says she is, she knows the answer, and I know the answer.
It was just that Simon didn't remember.
Yeah,
No,
yeah, it's
exactly.
mostly that Simon didn't remember. The ridges over her eyes kind of angle and press together in what you know is a dragon form version of pouting their lips, being that she hasn't got lips to pout. And she goes, "The Wandering Eclipse Trading Company. Do you have a particular fondness for the tabaxi?"
Yes. I always found them to be a remarkably intuitive and ingenious species.
A lot of people find them intolerable, but no, I'm rather partial to them myself. I have spent some time amongst the Naru. So, shall we go somewhere where we can speak a little more privately?
And what would we speak about?
She once again coils in a way that some people would find a little unnerving and whispers in your ear,
Why, Mr. Barebones, the large amount of money we've made in your absence.
and then starts walking out of the front door.
You know, the
I'm
money
thinking-
that's being made at our place.
Technically, Farewell was not there for that. So Farewell going, what the fuck are you playing at, love? and why are you having these conversations with me is quite legitimate because he doesn't know. 'Cause none of
Well,
you
we
told
told him about all of it.
Yeah, you were there. Like, we told you. during
I
the
don't
trip,
remember
and
that we
as
actually
soon as-
started trading anything yet. So that's
Oh no, they were setting it up, and he said that it would start trading within a few weeks / months.
all
It-
right.
it, like we
didn't
set
think
it
we-
up to be a trading post for the
Yeah.
for the Drowned Kings, and I think because we own the port, we get a small cut of the sales as
Yeah.
like a tax. So
As she sits, I walk over to where I assume Glory and the rest of them are sort of stood.
Yeah.
She's apparently been making a lot of money for us.
Yes.
oh
It is
yeah,
about
Drowned
time
Kings.
we have that discussion. I was wondering how it was going.
Okay. I don't like being toyed with. So for the moment, she's on the melt list.
Mm-hmm.
Rather than the not melt list. Just so you're aware. I'm really
Of
okay
course,
with
Farewell.
melting that one.
I don't think we need to melt her. She's been really nice to us.
Still on the melt list.
Well,
Shall we?
someone can be nice and still on the melt list, of course.
Around your neck, you hear, "That'll be a challenge." No, I'm being dishonest.
That'll be a
Again.
challenge, mistress. After all, she is a black dragonborn.
Yeah.
And was this acid,
Oh.
it would take a long time to kill her using your regular methods.
And at that thing, Glory will be reminded of what Hope did last time we were in Kalsaran.
Ah,
Yes.
he's talking again, isn't it?
Yeah.
He's
It's so creepy. I don't.
I just don't get it. It's just
It's
so
precious and beautiful. Also, he can see magic. It's very useful.
He can't tell what
Sure.
school it is, but he can tell if it's magic. For him, it's like a light source.
Shall we?
Whatever we're doing, someone lead on.
Are you going to follow Lisana?
Yeah.
Okay. Lisana opens up the door to what seems to be a small trading house. It's one of the buildings that's on the promenade. You can see that the door wasn't locked, and when you go in there, there's a number of clerks, almost like a small, I guess it's like a small stock exchange. But instead of people shouting buy and sell and things like that, instead it's a little more orderly, as you have a number of clerks and things like that saying, no, you're going to have to go to another port. We've got too much of that grain as it is. And somebody else turns around and says, no, 50. We want that. And you walk through what is a minor cacophony, but it's not as raucous as the stock exchange. When you get to the offices at the back, a lot of people are kind of tipping their hat to Lisana, and one of the kind of higher up clerks runs up and she goes, later, and leads you through to the back. You go into an office. She opens up the back door to the office, and you go behind the office in what seems to be the start of her house. She lives behind and above this kind of small trading empire.
Simon, I assume because Glory speaks Draconic that she can recognize what type of Dragonborn Lisana is.
Yeah, Gloria knows.
Yeah, so with the culture of your Draconic, you can see that Lisana isn't fully Western Dragon. She has elements of Eastern Dragon as well, which is why she's got the snake-like spine.
Yeah.
And you can see from a few things like the thick neck that she's got. Eastern Dragonborns have got a really thin neck because they don't have breath weapons. They have different abilities. And again, a lot of this is Illyria stuff, some of which I eked out with Corinne because she wanted Eastern Dragonborn. And so I was like, yeah, let's do it. So Eastern Dragonborn have different abilities. You can see Lisana probably has a mixed heritage. So her serpentine spine is from her eastern side. But you can see she's got quite a thick neck, which looks like she probably has acid glands. And that's from her western side. So there's elements of both type of dragon there. She's very interesting in terms of Dragonborn, and the fact that she's a black Dragonborn, and you've got the same black scales and stuff like that. There's just something familiar and nice about it. Albeit with something slightly different, because Freynia is 100% like Western Dragon. Whereas, she's got this kind of mixed element. It seems to be that you've gone straight from her office into a kind of living room area. You have a feeling this is where she entertains more personal guests or VIPs or something like that, and it's the equivalent of taking like a high-ranking boss to your house and things, and impressing. There is a lavish interior. The furniture is top rate. And you can see that there is a kind of like a powwow area where there's some like a kind of sunken table, almost like a coffee table, a bit bigger, and there seems to be a few things on there. There seems to be some like tobacco of a kind that is loose for a pipe. There seems to be kind of like I guess cigars, I guess it would be. There's already some drink on the table, by which I mean spirits. With some glasses and things. There's a bowl of ice. The bowl seems to be enchanted, so it keeps the ice frozen. And there's a kind of sofa type chairs all the way around, comfy chairs, and she goes straight up to what is clearly her chair, which is a kind of bucket chaise long, and she curls almost like a cat in the chaise long and leans on the one side and says, "Please take a seat. We are all family now."
Indeed.
So, your business arrangement with Carlos seems to have been bearing fruit. We haven't had much of a way of an inn in that part of the Vardencourt coast. Because of your links with the Duke and the Green Organization, I should imagine you'll be left alone, and yet your link, you are the bridge to us. We're going to make sure that the members of the Seven Sails that are particularly antagonistic to the Vardencourt nation, the Shacklemen, the Children of All, the Forsaken, will visit less, only when essential, and the others will be able to come as they wish. A lot of the free folk will be bringing a lot of the booty, I believe is the term, from the ones that I mentioned who are on the less likely list, and they'll be able to bring it in and trade it as they will. We've made a few caches of things like emergency food and healing herbs, things that would be essential just in case some sort of disaster were to go ahead. We have a few of our healers on board as well. They are nowhere near the level of power that Mr. Barebones would have, but are capable of being able to nip small diseases in the bud, things along those lines. The island itself is starting to take on a form of its own ecosystem of inhabitants. Most people that come to the island do tend to stay on the ship. They get off the ship to taste dry land, to stretch their legs, but they usually sleep there. We don't have a huge amount of facility to be able to board people. And I guess you don't really want to overcrowd the island with various buildings. So, money. Mr. Barebones, you like writing things down. How about you write down how much you have?
And out of character, you ready, Nick?
Sorry, I missed the question. My connection went wobbly.
Farewell, Barebones.
okay.
Are you you like to write things down? Would you like
Thank you so
to
much for the
take
raid,
notes
Sean.
on how much you've earned?
Well, thank you, Sean.
Sure. I take out my notebook. I take out my special pen, and I look expectantly.
Okay. Now you understand that this isn't going to be a month's takings all the time, but a number of, starting capital payments have been made. Largely because there are things that are being hidden on that island now that maybe, let's just say, that the Vardencourt authorities may not be quite happy with. But as part of the trading agreement, they're able to stash little supplies, things that they might need. Mostly things to do with, recovering from an emergency. So the current standing in the coffers is 80 platinum, 720 gold, 42 silver. We don't take Electrum, by the way. Sorry, running joke. And 127 copper pieces.
Sorry, say that again for me, Simon. Just make sure I've got it written down properly.
80 platinum, 720 gold, 42 silver, 127 copper.
Thank you.
Not a bad start.
Yes.
About 1,500 gold.
Yes. Not a bad start.
Indeed, we haven't really started with any of your particular projects. Now, when you next visit, you'll have some options, things that you can either influence yourself or just allow the others to try for. We have a number of agents in the various Seven Sail factions
that will be able to perform things for you.
Yes, there are certain plans we have that will be bringing with us when we go to the island. And we've planned a visit for next week, I believe, or at least our sail off for the island.
Yes. Your enchanters were met with all good graces, and they've been kept aside from the rabble.
Lovely.
And they've been paid handsomely for their silence. I should also inform you that to the north of the island is a Silver Finn's hiding point. They found a natural cave and have now occupied it. It's not technically part of your island, so they don't really have to ask permission, but part of the money that you've received is a forward donation. Just to
that's very
grease the
kind.
wheels.
It's very kind.
It's respectful, Eclipse. But
Well,
yes.
were you a nation, it would be within your national waters, so they tend to just make sure that they paid fairly for it.
Yes.
If you need any of that money in advance, you can, of course, come to me, and I shall make sure that the amount that you take from me will be reimbursed to the kings themselves, and Carlos will take it and put it into our own coffers.
Of course. It's good to know that the communication between the island and port are going well.
I was going to request, once you have the teleportation circle details, may I have the details of how to get there myself?
Yes. On the condition that it is not to be spread, of course.
Of course. I was mostly thinking in terms of being able to send items that might not be approved of by the Vardencore Empire. And also, even though I am in a very strange position as one of the kings, that the Duke knows my status, that could change.
Of course.
I could be hunted at any time. Now, I do have a number of insurance policies in place, but I would like one of them to be that I can simply zip to your island.
Yes.
I do believe that can be arranged.
I consider this a personal favor, and of course that means I'll be owing you a personal favor in return.
Yes.
We have an accord. I shall inform the enchanters that they may release the teleportation code to me.
Simon, wasn't the thing that basically we were doing it so that I would do the enchantment on the island so that no one outside of our group would have it to begin with?
I thought you got some enchanters to do it. Or
Yeah,
was that...
some
no.
enchanters to do the initial circle.
Yes.
But then I was going to finish it off with the
and
codes.
do the code. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, in that,
Well,
case, yeah.
Isn't the code coming from Farewell with his doing like the 30-day thing against summoning stuff?
Those
No,
are
this is a
separate
different.
things.
This is a different
No.
spell. Yeah.
You'll need another layer on top of that to actually get in.
Yeah.
So depending on where the circle is and depending on where we do that, well, no, it doesn't really matter because the forbiddance is 8 miles, which means it covers the entirety of the island.
Yeah. He puts the brick there. It's covered.
Well, no, when I permanently make the island, you can't pop in or out without our passcode. She can know it all she wants, and she can try popping in. But if she doesn't have the password, it doesn't complete.
Yeah.
Yes, and we would have to give her the password because again, it would be part of the personal favor.
Yeah.
One of the other things that Nick can do is he can just name a person who can just turn up there, so she doesn't have to. He can make it so she doesn't give the code to other people, but she herself individually can bamf them.
Which is probably better because then you don't have the chance of the password spreading.
So,
Not being so cagey.
Oh, me and Farewell are doing all the precautions needed so that you don't need to worry your pretty little head about it.
Yeah, we'll have it sorted.
I do like the fact that you guys are starting to do this. Okay, how many spells can we layer onto an island to just make it an absolute crazy headquarters.
Yeah, I still need to get my hands on herbs, oils, and incense worth at least 1,000 gold, and then set aside a full 24 hours to just cast something.
Tell her to have we will ask her to have those specific herbs delivered to the island before the day we arrive there, so that you can do that when we arrive and take it from the coffers from the initial startup.
You can ask Lysana to do that. Yeah, absolutely. As a drowned king, it's part of her duties that she can do that.
What do you say, Farewell?
Sure. If we have her assurances, and if anything, I would like to think that Farrell looks at very closely and just leans in slightly. Of course, he never makes eye contact with anybody. He just sort of goes, after all, giving your word to people like us is a very serious bond.
The drowned kings have only survived due to alliances such as this, Mr. Barebones. We are all in danger. For example, somebody who is not from this town abducts me, tortures me, suddenly tries to figure out where all the other kings are. I could endanger so many people. I need protection, Mr. Barebones. And now that we're in bed together over this island, believe me, we're in it together.
It will be a fruitful alliance.
It already has been. The free folk now have got a place where they can make repairs to their ships, where they can seek medical supplies, there they can take on fresh water, even fruit and vegetables to a certain extent. We can keep enough there fresh, thanks to some of the arcanists that we have on the island. The free folk have it easier now. The Vardencourt coast has always been such an inhospitable place for the free folk. And now it's a card-carrying free folk trading post. And you can see that there is indeed at the bottom of your writ a painted in or hastily inked in flag of the free folk.
Yeah. Well, it's always nice to have a bit of legitimacy, isn't it?
Yes. I've always resented the underhand nature of the Drowned Kings, but I've always acknowledged our necessity.
Of course.
But yeah, we get the materials there. We can get to work, finish this place up. We should also get that pina colada mix, because then we could have cocktails on the beach and
I
sit in
was
the sun
actually
drinking
looking
all day.
into buying a few trees that can be grown year-round on the island. Certain enchantments make it so much easier. We use them back home. That way, the getting fresh fruit and veg would be much easier for not only the free folk, but also the ones living there.
And I'm also thinking Mai Tais. I like Mai Tais. What? I like fruity cocktails. What's wrong with that?
Oh no, I totally
You're gonna
agree.
need to bring alcohol.
Oh,
I mean,
that
if we're gonna have
is
like
easier.
if we're gonna have fruit on the island, we just distill it and make our own. I mean, it's been a while since I've made moonshine, but it doesn't take that long to do it. You can probably have a decent, steady supply of your own stuff knocked out within about a month.
Right.
Would we have to be there for the whole month, though? We might be bouncing in and out.
Oh, no. A lot of it you can sort of set up, and with the right sort of pressure controls and temperature controls on there, it pretty much looks after itself. And then
Will it taste any
and...
good, or will it taste of Glory's backside?
It depends on. Look, I'm not one to know, but I'm sure they'll.
Glory goes, I'll have you know my backside tastes amazing.
I am going to say that there are people that will contest to that it tasting very nice. I'm sure there is, but it really depends on the kind of spirit we make. I mean, the easiest one to make is like just a white spirit. your typical sort of
Yeah,
vodka.
but those are usually not as good. And besides, if we get ourselves some fruit trees, some grapes, maybe we can have wine going and have that as a steady supply.
Look, you've not lived until you've tried my grandfather's recipe for ponchine.
Yeah, and you haven't lived
We'll
because
have
you
to
almost die
plant a
when
few
you
of
have
those.
it.
Either way, I'll
close.
have a talk with the gardeners while we're home tomorrow, because I'm gonna grab some flowers anyways, and I'll see about the enchantment needed to keep things growing year round. It's
Or
how
I'm
we
gonna
keep our flowers, you see. There, after all, I love the oleander gardens, so mother and father made sure they planted only that in an entire garden for me.
And to
Why
answer
would
your
it be
question-
anything else?
And to
Yeah.
answer your question, Cora, it's only 98, maybe 105% proof. It's not that bad for you.
I distinctly remember a night when we would disagree with that, but you probably forgot it all because I think
No,
it
it's
saps
good
your
for killing
memory.
brain cells. Yeah.
Yes.
Maybe we should drink it tomorrow exclusively, and then we can.
Well, you wouldn't remember what you did that got you killed. That's a thing.
You watch his farewell's hand just disappears into his bag of holding, and then
Well, do you
almost
remember
disappears up
what
to his
happened
shoulder.
when you died if you are incredibly drunk when dying?
Speaking from experience, it tends to happen very quickly, and it just depends on the amount of time between. But he
No,
pulls
I
out
mean
this...
more like, does the hangover go with you to the other side?
Interesting metaphysical question. One I don't really have the answer for you. It's probably one they've not really done a whole lot of research on. But as the fact that hangovers tend to be more of a physical symptom rather than a spiritual one, I would say your soul is pretty free. Unless you've pissed off something powerful, at which point, who knows what sort of tortures they would lumber onto your internal soul. But in answer to your question, and you watch as it's one of those like, it's like a big sort of, the plum bottom bottles with the sort of straw around sort of the majority of the base, and then this thick, heavy stopper on top. It's about a third full, and he sort of goes, "Do you have some left?"
Oh dear.
Is this your moonshine, or is this the thing that caused a war?
No, this is Grandad's.
Oh.
I haven't made any in like...
I mean, we're going to Scour tomorrow, so yeah.
Okay.
Plus, you're talking business, and it got very boring.
Mm-hmm.
As you were talking about the alcohol, only the people who's got a fairly good perception. So that is currently Nick and Corinne, thanks to her reliable talent. You do notice that pointedly when you're talking about, oh yeah, we'll be able to brew some alcohol and things like that, she does pointedly reach over for one of the spirit bottles, pours some a dark, sweet-smelling liquid into a glass, puts it back on the table with the label pointing at you, and it says 7 Sails Rum on it, and she just starts drinking it.
I take the lid. Why is it white? Is it clear rum? Are we talking white clear rum? Or
No, she picked up the dark rum, but you do notice there's a clear liquid next to it.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know. Full on punchy, the full on like spicy, really peppery, strong sort of moonshine that you can only get from a country that has mastered the art of not only cooking a potato, but brewing the shit out of it.
Yeah, as I put in chat, I got fucked up before.
I got ruined on ponchine many a time. Many Irish friends who thought it was really
the most ill I've ever been due to alcohol, and I
you
had
know
to
what?
miss out on a walk around Carrigtwohill. I mean, thankfully, I've done enough. I did enough climbing up Carrigtwohill, so I've done a few. But yeah, on one of them, yeah, never drink a clear fluid out of a Lucozade bottle if they offer it to you.
Yeah. All I'm gonna say though
I
is
felt like I've been embalmed while I was still alive.
all I'm gonna say is fucking lovely with Dr. Pepper though.
That's
Really
because it
good
tastes
with
of Dr. Pepper.
No, because like I said, Poggini is like by its nature, it's very, very.
It has got a strong taste.
As
peppery.
someone who does not drink alcohol, this is so fascinating to me.
It's
I
like
don't understand jack shit.
This isn't alcohol. This is
um,
bad life decision distilled into a liquid. It's just,
to give you an idea, Glory, it is think hot sauce, but rather than chili, it's the pepper part of the hot sauce.
I
and
don't eat
that's-
hot sauce.
Okay, well, it's very that kind of spice, and it just hits you. And the
Imagine
worst thing is,
grinding black pepper into your mouth, basically.
the worst thing for me is that for me it starts at, whereas most booze starts at the stomach and rolls upwards. Ponchine starts at the face and rolls down, and it doesn't stop until it hits your ankles, and like you can't do anything but just sit there and be a gibbering wreck. But it's very good, either with Vimto or Dr. Pepper. It's very.
I would like to
very good.
question why you
Yeah.
think thinking that is a good idea, but
Oh, we
I'm
never
not
think
sure
it's a
I
good idea.
want
No.
the answer.
Like I said, it's most Ponchin is 90% proof. You know, it's 90% pure ethanol.
You can feel your pulse in your teeth. It's weird.
Yeah, and it's like I said, it's good for killing brain cells, and it's not even very good for like degreasing engines. It's just good for killing your own brain cells.
Yeah.
But whew, is it a good night every time you have it?
Every time, I literally the once and never again. Never again.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Anyway, yeah, the general insinuation by Lisana is that, you know, she's from a pirate nation. She's got you covered with the alcohol, mate.
Yeah. Yeah, we're fine.
That's fine. I mean, rum is lovely and all, and it is a fantastic staple. However, it's not this, and I offer the bottle.
Either way, we might make a few different ones. Farewell. You can have your moonshine, and we will have some else too.
She drinks it, and you can see the look on her face as she reassesses her constitution score. Hands it back to you, holding her own, because the whole point of it, she's a charisma-based thing. And she hands it back to you, and you can see that she takes it on the chin, but she goes, I literally breathe acid.
Oh, so do I.
And that is, and she goes, you can't make a pina colada with that.
Oh, you can. That's defeatist, but
It's just not
No.
a good one.
Don't
Lisana
let
nods
him
at
talk
Cora.
me into it. That is the thing.
I mean,
It's not a
and-
pina colada if you use that.
And you wonder why you've never met a grumpy monk.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, that's who he learnt the recipe off. There was this traveling monk
Mm-hmm.
that used to go around, and he would always tell these stories. And apparently, he was this weird sort of raggedy man that wore lots of different coloured clothes and different sizes, and just liked to brew things. And this
Yeah.
apparently what he enjoyed to brew.
That does not surprise me, Farewell. It does not surprise me at all. Anyway, back to business, as we were discussing.
She's kind of swaying a little bit, and she goes, that was the business, to tell you how much money you had and asked if you had any requests.
Oh,
Yes.
I take a pencil, write down a load of the materials that I need, hand it over.
You can see that there's a slight vapor coming out of her nostrils as she nods and goes, yes, I'll be able to get that sorted for you.
Like, Eclipse is trying really hard not to, like, it resents the urge to push her.
Well, no, she's lying in this bucket chaise long, you know, and as I say, she's coiled at the moment. And she goes, this will be fine. We can do this for you. Should we take the expenses out of the island funds?
Yes. I
Yes,
think that's
for now.
appropriate. It's for the island, after all.
No problem. Yes, we will sort that out for you. Yep. So I'll take that. I'll take it out of the platinum. So the platinum is 800. and then the remaining 200 from the gold pieces. So there's 520 gold pieces. So the island funds now are 520 gold pieces, 42 silver pieces, 127 copper pieces. And so she goes, not a problem.
Do you like licorice, Cora? I can't remember. Yeah.
Licorice would have been one of the sweets of choice in both Freetown and I mean stick licorice as well, not like licorice all sorts. I mean just stick licorice, just to chew.
Are we talking Swedish licorice or American licorice?
I'm talking about licorice the plant, as in the root.
Yeah.
So
No, but
to
I'm talking about what type of licorice are we talking about? Because I've noticed that people from other countries don't understand what licorice is.
I think we're talking real licorice, as in the one from the
I'm talking literally the licorice plant.
Okay.
We're all on the same page as you are, Felicia, in that it's the real plant, it's the real things, it's not the artificial shit.
So it's not salty licorice.
No. I have, I've got some ideas now. More work to do on the island. More work. Anyway, is there anything else we needed to do here?
I don't believe so. We're going by... Notes. What was the name of Boris Taylor? Fuck.
Mildred?
I think so. Yeah, that sounds about right. The
The
Fae one.
Oh, not back to hers.
I don't want to go to her.
The Fae one was Mildred.
Mildred. Good. We're gonna go by Mildred and pick up the clothes I ordered a few weeks ago. They are done.
Oh, no. That was Sable. Was it the was it the half drow, or was it the one that created all the garish costumes before?
The one that created the garish ones.
That's Mildred.
Mildred, yeah?
Yeah.
Don't worry, they were made after Tulsa Run specifications because it's a formal event. So no extra enchantments other than the requested protection ones and, immunity against poison for a few days, the usual things that every party needs.
I mean, we already got the hero's feast for that.
Okay, you're going to go to Mildred's. So you walk to a shop that really sticks out compared to all the others, where all the others are kind of like the Tudor top-heavy kind of affairs that you'd get because it's a very industrial city, very modern city, due to its industry. Mildred's shop at the moment is painted black from head to toe and highlights all over the place. Anything that needs to be highlighted in terms of the cornicing or any of the edges of the house in gold leaf. And then right in the middle of this big black imposing building, and yes, the windows themselves are black as well, is this huge splash of green, almost as if someone's just taken a huge pot of it and just thrown it at the building. You remember the last time that you went there, the building was effectively, it looked like a gilded cushion. It had kind of a velour on the front of it, and it had lots of kind of brass and garish kind of trappings on the side. Now it's sticking out for a completely different reason. You knock on the door. There's a shutter that opens up, and you announce yourself, and the shutter closes, and a couple of seconds later the door opens. The door itself seems to open on its own by magic, and you can see that two goblins in leather loincloths, both of them with fans that are effectively pole arms with ostrich feathers on the top, start wafting the fans in your direction, even though it's not. It's getting to the heart of winter now. It's actually quite nippy out, but they start fanning you with it as one other leather posing pouch goblin bows deeply and bids you enter.
I forgot about the goblins. Oh God, I had genuinely managed to scrub that from my memory, and now it's back.
We're back to the goblins in the posing pouches. We can
Yeah.
thank Felicia for this.
I needed
Oh,
it.
high definition.
I had
Right on
completely
my
forgotten.
brain. So I uncork the bottle and just like big swig and just pass it down to Cora.
Yeah, I'm closer to their level.
You don't have the top down view.
As the door closes, there is a like a kind of almost a drum and bass or dubstep type rhythm that's coming somewhere from the inside of the house, of the building. But in this case, it is actually being played by somebody with what seems to be some sort of hand drum. There seems to be quite a few people actually. A couple of different drums you're identifying there. It seems to just be a beat. The air is thick and warm, almost moist. You can
Is
smell
Race
some.
here again? Because we met him before.
What's that?
Is Race here again? Because we met him before.
Uh,
I did.
I haven't
No.
mentioned him. No.
Uh,
There's this
another
thick,
place.
sweet moisture to the air, almost like they're burning some sort of oils that has some sort of very sweet, saccharine, almost honey-like scent. That as you breathe in the air, you can almost taste it on the air. You get guided through what seems to be a small maze of floor-to-ceiling draped materials. All the materials are different, so it's almost like someone's hanging their washing from the ceiling. It goes right down to the floor to the point where you can't see your way through, and they're layered upon each other, so there's no one clear route through. You have to kind of weave through it all. The goblin that's kind of leading you through it is deliberately losing you so that you all take your own individual routes through these bolts of fabric. The fabrics are everything from leathers to rough spun to silks and satins and velours. There's furs as well. Cora, you get kind of floofed in the face by what you're pretty sure is an ermine panel that could be made to maybe an ermine cloak or something else. And you all eventually find your way into the heart of this. With tables all around her, with industrious people of all different races and genders, cutting fabric, studding fabric, sewing fabric, and roughing, pleating. Some people are there, in various states of undress, being used as living mannequins. And in amongst it all, there is this garish throne, around about 9 foot tall, that seems to be made out of solid gold, but Mildred well enough to know that it's not solid gold. But it looks like it's gold that then has had black paint and green paint just haphazardly splashed over it, Jackson Pollock style, and sat there in all her glory, wearing just a breastband and what seems to be a kilt, is Mildred herself. A slightly maddened Fey type character, reminiscent of Elvish, but definitely not Elvish, looking almost kind of hag-like, but she's not ugly. She's older. She looks older, but she looks like somebody who certainly takes care of herself. She has got really outlandish makeup on at the moment. She's got 2 black lines under her eyes that just are kind of like a bars, about finger width, that go under her eyes and out to the sides. And she is sat there rigid like some sort of dead mummy, well, not dead mummy, but inanimate mummy. And
Most mummies are dead.
well, I was about to say inanimate. That's why I said inanimate. Just completely still, which may be a fashion statement in and of itself, because somebody comes up to her with a partly finished creation, and immediately she goes from being this absolutely still figure to animated, and looks down at it and goes, and just waves it away. The person kind of bows back and kind of backwards walks away from the throne as if she was a king of old or a queen of old, and the drumming is still kind of going on, and you have a feeling that maybe there's almost like a kind of, I don't know, maybe jungle queen kind of thing going on here. That's what she's kind of going for. And as she sees Glory and the others come in, she puts up a hand and the drumming stops. Darlings!
Mildred, how are you?
She gets up and walks down the few steps that are in front of the throne, goes up and very kind of gingerly embraces Glory. And she goes, "Oh, and you brought my favorite ambassadors of my line. Oh, I did hear the gossip after you went to that ball. We should do it again sometime."
I immediately
most
stand
definitely.
behind Cora.
Anyway, I heard they were done.
Yes. Let it never be said that Mildred, and when she says her own name, you know it's capitalized in a big way.
I also stand behind Farewell.
Let it never be said that Mildred does not take commissions and is not insensitive to royal courts. I abandoned much of my vision when I made these garments, but only for the respect of the lovely Glory Tezcatlipoca, ambassador. Don't you know? You plebs.
Plebs. I ironically used the word plebs.
Oh,
my
yeah.
God.
You can
This
see that
is me,
everybody
not
looks at her and
Eclipse.
smiles when she says the word plebs. You have a feeling that even though she seems to be quite derogatory, that it's her being playful. And when she says plebs, they all really smile, and you have a feeling that all of this is false, and they know it's false. And she goes, "Anyway, garments, please. We need to make sure that they fit. You, Mr. Barebones, let's see it all."
No.
Someone's been working out. We might have to make some adjustments. And she picks up a wand and starts waving it with intent.
Mm-hmm.
I would remind you what happened last time.
I've quite forgotten. And you watch as 4 assistants come out with what seem to be, well, I will let Felicia describe the garments.
They are quite possibly the most expensive garments you have ever seen in your life, of a deep black fabric suit piece. I am sending through some inspiration pics I have saved in another window. For Farewell, it is very much a modern cut for men, while the girls also wear pants. Oh, wait. Ew. That's the girl one, that's the boy one. But they're still cut the same for all of you.
I wanted a dress. You gotta give us fancy outfits. I don't even get a dress.
Nope. You're ambassador.
I approve of these.
diplomat.
I'm fine with this. They're in the Discord.
I don't know if these are going to come through. I'm going to send the Discord links.
Yeah,
Yeah,
will,
you need to put them into the different thing in general or something, because they can't be any for private.
I think looking at these, Farewell will look at it, look at Glory, look at it again, and just grab a chunk of his own face and pinch really hard Ow!
I told you they were made more meridian on purpose. And besides, they haven't brought out the capes.
Well, there's always a catch.
I thought it was too good to be true. Okay.
Yeah, me too.
Capes. I mean, like, you know,
Do I at
I
least
just-
have like a long trail like that, like she has?
Mhm.
Can I have that?
So-
please?
It's very suit jackety with a nice top for the girls, while it's actually a suit for farewell with longer trains and a like high color cape that fastens with the different chains and stuff depending. I imagine that farewell chains will be this really matte silver, while cores are more summery goldish, and eclipses would be, I think, silver too, to more fit with the white cat aesthetics.
Yeah, because
All of them are in a dark black with bright green accents,
of course.
because this is glory.
Farewell. You can see that one of the what would you call them? Seamstresses, I guess. One of the designers under Mildred's expert tuition, just off your left arm, is currently making what appears to be female underwear made out of mooring rope, marine mooring rope. Looking at the things that have been brought out of the out for you, they are very timid compared to Mildred's other designs.
Do you remember? I have that whole thing, you know, I can read lips, I tend to be able to pick stuff up that other people don't notice. In here, it is a curse.
Well,
There
they
are
have made to the
horrors.
specifications. Of course, you will see a lot of dignitaries in similar looking clothes at the ball, as only the Tuscarcoatls are allowed to wear other things. Which reminds me, is my dress ready?
Yes.
Oh,
Would you like me to have it brought out in a model?
yes,
or...
please.
Okay. So she kind of takes a look at you, then looks at one of the designers and goes, "You strip." And the person puts down whatever they're working on and starts running behind the throne. And as they're doing so, kind of unbuttoning the jerkin.
Whoa! Whoa!
And I'm drawing a lot on the time I gate crashed London Fashion Week, by the way, for a lot of this. Accidentally gate crashed London Fashion Week. They go up, and about not even 2 minutes later, a beautiful vision walks out. Felicia?
Yep. Glory's dress is inspired by a picture I made recently after I saw some really pretty dresses on Pinterest, because, you know, that's the type of person I am. It is quite literally a one shoulder that goes down with a really low back, as in the back goes down underneath her tail. And her tail is basically the end where you see the end of the back. And her tail is literally above her bum, as you most people know by now, because it's an alligator tail-ish. And it is
I only
a
say that
slip
because of
dress.
how wide it is at the butt.
Yeah,
I mean, like how tails normally, because it would continue with your spine, so you can feel like where your spine ends, where like the tail would start.
exactly. But yeah, it is a long, very slender dress, and when it moves, it looks like stained glass that shifts with it.
Now, I wanted something like that. Why do I get the bright black one?
Because the whole point of this is that you don't look better than her. This is
We are
kind
the
of like the last time.
bridesmaids.
Oh yeah. Oh.
Which,
oh.
by the way, that technically makes us twice, so none of us will ever be the bride.
Oh, don't worry.
You are aware
I'm
of the
sure
old
you're
adage,
a bride
right?
too, farewell.
Well,
I can see
when
you
were
in
we
a big
bridesmaids
dress.
first? When were we first bridesmaids?
When you wore the outfit that growled. actually
yes,
was a
but
normal death.
we weren't like being dignitaries to Glory's thing then.
No, but we
No.
were also accompanying Glory to somewhere where Glory was the center of attention and that it was the whole point of there.
Yes.
Well,
Glory
which
got
is
the
what-
nice dress again. Glory, I'm gonna have words.
For those of you in chat, the last link that I've put in there, which is Yena's art, is actually Felicia's art. It's one of my favorite pictures of her drawing Glory and Excellence there. And by the way, I don't know for any other fans, Excellence is looking more like Matt Mercer every time she fucking draws him.
Considering
what?
I don't watch Critical Role,
Yeah, that's
yeah,
that
pretty
is
good.
an entire accident, I can promise you.
Yeah, I know you don't watch it, which is all the more remarkable. Every time I look at it, I'm there going, am I going to have to get him in as a cameo or something? Because this is...
Oh yes, get Matt Mercer as
Yeah,
a
he'll
cameo.
just-
Yeah,
he'll just show up.
let's just hit him up.
We might need
I
a few
hear he's
more
busy
bits.
at the moment. You know, apparently he's got a few things on, but you know, we'll see if he's free later.
It's,
Yeah.
But
you
yes.
know what? I would have loved Aiden to have been here for this one. Man, that would have been funny.
I mean,
I sent him a
You-
letter.
you
He
thought
hasn't
I was bad?
responded.
You thought I was bad at like in Skaldra. He would have been absolutely like insufferable.
Well, in his defense, the last time he was there, he was actually pretty well behaved.
Oh, because he left
Yes.
immediately.
Exactly.
He used
So
diplomatic
technically-
immunity to leave immediately.
He was very well behaved. And you
leaving.
could learn a lot from him.
To be honest, we don't
I
know
am
what he
being
did on his
forced
way
to
to the
go on this,
teleportation
but I
circle.
have no choice.
I love the fact that Aiden just pulled out. He was like, he's never used his family privilege ever, and he just walks up to the teleporter, pulls out a silver coin, and goes, "I'm with the Canalms." And they're like, "Yes, sir. Where would you like to go?" He's like, "Anywhere but here."
Yeah. Can I make some slight adjustments to this?
Depends. What adjustments are you thinking?
Mildred
beca-
physically twitches at that you saying that.
Well, obviously it's not broad enough or long enough at the moment, which I'm sure can be fixed very easy. But the jacket, can we shorten it so it stops round about where my ribs are, and where the embroidery is? Do you think you could work in Ioun's and the Raven Queen symbols for me?
Ooh, give me a persuasion check with advantage.
Oh yeah, because I'm really good at persuasion.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
not a
Yeah,
high
but you're
diff.
intriguing her.
It's not a high
Well,
diff.
this was primarily directed towards Glory because I knew she had a theme, so it was more farewell asking for Glory's blessing than Mildred's. But I'll do. I will
Well,
still do
the
that.
suit jacket cannot go too far up, but if we stop it like here, it will still be within the
13.
requirements.
Yeah,
And
sure.
she points just slightly below where you wanted it,
Sure.
because around the belly button, if that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Because then it accentuates your curves, which is also very nice.
I have curves.
Of course you do.
Darling, everyone has curves.
Don't look at me.
Yeah, Farewell turns and looks in the mirror and realizes that he's wearing, in effect, plate armor, the most unshapable thing ever, and he's just like there going.
But you're also wearing very beautiful plate armor, which probably has a lot of really nice sort of
Yeah, like
curvature on it.
nice
Actually,
curved lines. Yeah.
Yeah.
You do
So I
notice that
roll?
when she says everybody has curves, she does try to check out your butt, but the armor's in the way.
Yeah, I have a plated butt.
That he does.
Yeah, slap
He
it at
also
your
has a
own wrist.
skirt in the way because that
clips
was
that.
kind of very
It slips clangs his butt. It goes pats his clang clang.
Yeah.
Slave.
So that's a 13 with a -2.
So 11, yeah.
Yes.
Okay. You could see that she gives you a scathing look as if to say the boy doesn't know what he's talking about, but she does kind of like the fact that you're trying, being that you didn't really embrace fashion at all the last time you came here. There's a kind of a wistful, okay, kind of thing. And as she's kind of dismissing the, oh, fine, she's actually casting with the wand, and you watch as the waistcoat goes up, as according to Glory's tempering of your.
No, it's the jacket,
request.
not the waistcoat. The waistcoat.
Sorry, the jacket. Yeah.
Yeah. The waistcoat stays the same.
She makes some of the adjustments, and the only thing that she doesn't do is the Ioun symbol and the Raven Queen symbol, and she just kind of goes, "You two, on it now!" and two of the assistants just drop what they're doing and start to go over to what seems to be a large, almost like a cauldron that seems to be full of buttons and beads.
I did not have that online, so I can't link it for chat.
Yes,
At the moment, I'm copying Discord links, so if anybody hasn't got Discord, then get on the Discord.
Yeah, you can copy the Discord link like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, can you even see when I post it in the Benefactor chat?
They should
pulls
be
up the picture, I think.
Yeah, just the
Oh,
picture.
good.
Yeah, they can't see the Benefactor chat. They can just see the picture.
Okay, that's good.
So you can see that they're starting to kind of weave beadwork of the two different symbols with very quick, you can see that just within a few seconds, you can see like an oval being made to make the Eye of Ioun.
Magical machine embroidery.
Well, no, they're bead weaving, and their hands are just going ridiculously fast. You have a feeling that a lot of the Fey/Elven dexterity that Mildred has is being used in her in the mentoring of them. Long story short, the costumes that you want are finalized, and she says, "Remind me to Frania, you will."
Of course, darling.
Thank you, and do give my regards to your amazing mother. Happy that she's name dropped enough. She goes back and sits on her throne, and she goes, "You are complete. You may leave."
Thank you for your amazing work, as always.
Of course, and as per usual, there is no there's no discussion of payment.
Nope.
All that happens outside of the creative zone. You get a bunch of again leather posing pouch wearing goblins scuttling up to you and leading you back through this forest of fabric back to the front door.
Mm-hmm. See, I told you the dress code was fine, and I had them altered to fit your personal inhibitions when it comes to showing skin.
Glory, next time, please get me a dress.
Oh no, you're not allowed to wear a dress. That's the thing. It's why you have pants. Otherwise, both you and Cora would be in dresses. I promise you.
No, I'm quite happy with that. That was actually quite good. So any other time that you're having to do me fashion, then something like that is cool. And
I want a dress. Why can't I have a dress?
Because only Tesca can have their personal clothes. The thing is that all guests wear similar clothes, which is why it's a stylized version. Because then you show off who you're there as a guest of. The colors, the black and the green, says that you're a guest of the main family, and the flowers that we will be putting on it signifies that you're specifically guests of me.
Yeah.
Next time I want to wear a dress.
I'm sure we can go to somewhere where you can wear a dress. I do love dressing up.
Do remember the reason we're going there, Eclipse, and how we aren't going to get what we want, because if we do, we just won't. We just won't get what we want, and if we try, then we end up in a dungeon. So just suck it up. Suck it up.
Nice.
Yes, you're visiting the land of lawful evil once again.
Yes, I will drag them there.
Incredibly powerful lawful evil once again. So you get outside. You can see that the day's starting to wane. and the Eclipse, your badge goes off.
Ah. Hello.
Who dis?
You match with this.
Who
Hello, Eclipse of the Moon. It is Kos Amberglade here. The 2 chalices that you required are being sent to your to the Hawk and Harness directly. Renata had some questions regarding the necessity of their use. She understands that Scour can be a tricky situation, but she would much prefer that you use your own wit and guile to be able to navigate the various problems. However, considering your current track record of wit and guile, she thought 2 would probably be worthwhile. They will be...
It feels like an insult.
Hey!
Oh boy!
I mean, if I was hearing that, I would be thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
I mean,
Unfortunately,
she's not wrong,
it's direct to Eclipse.
It's not wrong.
And yeah, Kos is pretty much saying what Renata said word for word. You have a feeling that Kos is very polite, very etiquette based, but just doesn't wrap things up with niceties at all.
Well, it was mainly because of the poison protection.
The chalices are currently with Noki.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Eclipse of the Moon. And they cut off without a second word.
Yeah.
How
And I will like
farewell.
I don't know if there's like able to send like voice
Sorry?
messages or something, but I will send a voice message to Renata being like, hey, not cool.
Angry texting.
Yeah.
Sorry, Glory, did you ask something?
Yes, I said, how about that feast you wanted?
Yeah, I'm
But
wondering
the chalices
if we...
are ready, by the way, they're at Noki's. So
I'm
we
wondering
should
if we save it for breakfast. What time in the morning did you say that we were going to go?
Oh, we're heading over around breakfast.
Maybe we do it
We
for
can have it
breakfast.
Yeah, have it as breakfast and then
No,
head
I
to the
meant
circle.
we're having breakfast with my family before the party.
Okay, let's do it before.
Oh, we're
Awen
literally
says,
leaving
is that first breakfast or second
dawn?
breakfast?
We could technically make it second breakfast if we want to.
I'm not the only one who
Awen's
can
asking
have
that because she spent her entire life with a halfling. So...
the only time the only one obviously that can actually have a second breakfast and not like be a rolling ball that's going down like the road is Cora. So
What are you talking about? I can have second breakfast all I want. I burn enough calories casting my spells. And do you realize how much I am burning when enchanting? It is amazing for your calorie intake. I can eat all the sweets I want currently as long as I try and make one magical item a month.
I work on the basis that I run around you lot enough as it is that I'm entitled to eat as much as I want. I died not long ago.
Yeah, he shed all that extra weight.
That is true.
Do you know how
I
many
thought
calories
you-
it takes to die?
I've got a new body I need to break in.
Mm.
right.
So yes, we could make it second breakfast if you would prefer that.
Yeah, so one pizza is 2 spells.
Or
Yep.
2 level 1 spell slots or 1 level 2 spell slot.
Yeah.
It depends if it's a
Funny that was
large or
true, and I could just
medium-sized
cast some
pizza and if you're
cantrips
eating it
everywhere.
yourself.
Well, if it's not really a pizza if it's not bigger than the pizza dinner plates that they have specially made for pizza restaurants. It should be bigger than that to be a pizza.
According to
Or at least that's the logic I run on, because the pizza place we always go to, they have like these really big pizza plates, but the pizzas are like that much bigger.
Nice.
They are
So-
lovely. I like their pizzas. They're good too.
You guys are going to... No, cantrips don't count, Seeking. You get to the Hawk and Harness. Noki goes, I have like a gift for a king out here.
yes, they're for farewell.
Thank you.
He walks up and with all the sarcasm that you're starting to appreciate from him goes, my leash.
You know what?
I don't
only
really
pizza-
understand why they wanted this, considering we're just going to visit my family tomorrow. But then again,
all I'm going to say is it's only taken you 6 months to finally understand where we stand in the hierarchy of things. I'm very impressed.
I am.
Well, I thought that was good for me.
Yeah, that was quite good. Yeah.
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 Oh.
Very good. Very good. Yeah.
I put them both in my bag of holding. Like I'm not fucking appreciated, Andy. Some people. Well, it's up to you guys. I mean, I'm perhaps being overly cautious. You know, the immunity
No,
poison,
please.
the immunity to fear.
It's.
They make your mind much tougher. But
Yes,
you know,
please, because I'm pretty sure that Hope is gonna poison me. So please.
If we
no,
she wouldn't do it that overtly. I mean,
I
the
would
last time
disagree.
she poisoned someone was when we had this dignitary from the White Dragonflight. She was really pretty, and she liked me, and it was really, really sweet. But Hope was really jealous, and you know how it ends. And yeah, we were
You have a
young.
very
Like,
dangerous.
what is a
codependent
14-year-old to
relationship.
do? You know.
No.
Well,
Yeah, you
No,
have a-
Glory. Just no.
yeah. She never
I'm gonna
woke
give
up.
you some I'm gonna give you like a book list to read about like normal upbringings in other countries that does not include like poison and death.
I mean,
Oh, that
I-
wasn't a part of my upbringing. That's Hope's a deal. She's the alchemist of us.
I hate to be this person, but those in glass houses.
I don't include poison and death.
No, but you are encouraged to wander out in the world on your own, and then let that happen. That's also crazy.
You're wandering by yourself, Mr. Fairman.
No, I was wandering with a whole caravan full of people. I was never on my own.
Well, I'm not on my own now, am I?
Well, not now.
No, you're not. You're with us.
Yes, and I was never really alone. I made friends along the way.
Your sister is currently imprisoned in a dragon society, and is
Yes, she was
living
on
in
a
She
legend.
should
boat.
have arrived either
Dragon
yesterday
society.
or today with
Oh,
their dignitaries. So she will be in my mother and aunt's care for now. Probably
was-
Muse. Muse doesn't have too much to worry about in preparation for the feasts since she is just doing the music.
So she was on a boat sailing where a dragon thought that they've gone too close to his coast and imprisoned her. I don't really think that's her fault.
But
Well,
she
I
wouldn't have
mean,
been in
that's where
that
we agree, but
situation if-
she's still in this thing, and we for some reason are accepting that this is okay. But I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm
you know,
not,
she wouldn't be in that position if, she wasn't culturally expected to go out and do these dangerous
You're not
journeys on their own.
expected to go. You only go if you want to.
It's not how you've been framing it. That's certainly not how everybody we've met from the Naru's been framing it.
I
They've,
mean, there's some researchers that suspect it's a genetic thing or a magical thing that makes us want to go, but we don't really know. There are a few people that decide to not go.
Yeah,
At this whole-
they
at
tend
this
to be
whole
very
mention-
rare in the Naru. That just easily about 90+% of the Naru get the Wanderlust. And
As my book comes out on the table at the mention of this is potentially genetic, and I do write down, although you can't read it, it says that explains a lot.
also the
Mental notes.
the journey for each
Consider
Naru is different.
dissection.
Yeah.
So some of them
Right.
they go until they find the place where they feel like they need to be, and they stay in that place. Others travel a lot. Some of them just keep moving. Some of them the journey is largely to go find like a master that they can be apprenticed to or something like that. So they take the term journeyman like to the nth degree.
Yeah.
But a
guess the
lot of
point
them
I'm-
do need to go really far away and really kind of feel gone and lost. There's a chaotic element to it where they have to kind of throw themselves into the chaos and find something.
I guess the point I'm trying to make, Eclipse, is that we shouldn't try and enforce our cultural ways on other societies, regardless of how ethically or morally repugnant we may or may not find them. Personally, for me, as long as they keep the wheel turning, I could care less, really. Which is the reason why I have an issue with the sword, by the way. Can you just make sure that whatever one she has wandering around is not with me? Otherwise, I will send it because. No.
Oh, don't worry about that. I don't think Mother will be too disappointed to send one off.
Yes.
She replaces them pretty quickly.
Didn't need to know that.
You're gonna make Farmer morally obliged to banish your mother or something.
No.
He wouldn't be able to do that.
I don't know.
I doubt. We're quite powerful now.
I mean, I'd be willing to give it.
You're not level 20.
Yeah,
I don't think Farewell really can go up against a level 20 Eldritch Knight.
If she rolls a nat 1, she rolls a nat 1.
That is true.
All I need.
Let's just say it's very difficult. The Tezcatlipoca are always looking for people to fuck their shit up. So we will see. We'll see what happens. I am doomsayeringly, if that's a word, preparing for in general terms everything that you could possibly do. I'm not there yet, but yes. There is actually a parcel waiting for Farewell as well. 2 in fact.
Ooh.
Oh, by the way, what was the loot bomb we got? I can't remember what I got. I didn't think I got anything.
You did?
What did I get?
You got something.
No.
I can't remember because I'm still waiting for Simon to send me the bloody DM so that I can create all of the stuff which I asked for last week.
That was on his to-do list. It got forgotten.
Eclipse got a rod that looked like the trunk of a tree with two naked figures back to back with their back against the tree and looking up as if in joy. The 2 naked figures.
Oh yeah, I got a thing from my brother, didn't I?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
The two naked figures are not very highly detailed. They are more kind of like what's that? Is it Super Hot, the game that Seekin was playing before, where it's like a kind of angular figure? Yeah. It's kind of 2 naked angular figures of nondescript race or gender that are leaning against what seems to be the trunk of a tree and looking up in ecstasy or joy, I guess. And he said it's broken, but if you can fix it, that would be of good use. Farewell got a ring that makes him feel energized.
Oh yeah. Anyway, we're 10 past, by the way, Simon. If you're not keeping track of time.
I was
It's
waiting
why
for
we're
you guys to
wrapping
finish
up,
your
I
argument.
think.
That's all. So,
sorry, Simon. Just as we're having this argument, and then we see the boxes. Did I black out and order things again?
It's like
Have I been walking around ordering stuff?
it's that one cantrip buying, man. You know, you got to switch it off.
Oh, hello, cat.
Aww.
So there are 2 things waiting for Farewell.
Yeah,
Hello, Trouble.
you can see. You probably can hear him in a minute.
Knows to go out. It's like, it's a cat.
We'll get them
Wants to go
now in a
outdoor.
minute. I'm going to finish up. So there are 2 things waiting for Farewell. The first is, both of them have letters. The first one is a letter from Farus. Oh, he's not got his headphones on.
Yeah, he let out a cat.
Yes.
Priorities. So there are 2 things for Farewell, and that's what I'm going to use to wrap up. And it's a good point to finish up. I'm going to make the note that I've given it to you. So there is one of them is just a letter, and it's from Farus. Farus comes back, is returning a letter that you sent to him, and he says, "Farewell. I find your theories fascinating. I believe that yes, indeed, with some study, we may be able to recreate the things that you request. I would like to discuss this even more. I am in Ostedald at the moment, taking whatever contracts I can. I'm happy to remain here for as long as you need. However, in 3 months' time, I do have an appointment. So, I look forward to working with you. I am at the below address, Ferus. So
fantastic.
that's the tabaxi. So you've got Ferus's letter. And the second one is from it is from our friend, funnily enough, from Atalzaran, the smith that made your armor.
Oh yeah, the one.
She should be in. She should be in. No. She should be in Ostergold by now.
She is also in Ostergold, yes. She has left you a note saying where she is, although I closed down the bit of the notes which says what her name is. Sorry. And
it is. I've written down here. Galliana Blackforge.
Okay, she was on here, but she's under the wrong.
I think that's what I've got written down.
Yeah, I had it there, Galena Blackforge, but I don't know why I had her under a different hashtag. Okay, never mind. But yeah, so she says, "Dear farewell, very happy to be here. Very happy to be out of Atalzaran. I have no idea still what happened with regard to your armor. Anyway, I'm hoping that it works out well. Turns out that being able to don it and doff it still means you have to carry the bloody thing around. So I've enclosed the following pendant, which, if you use it, it should be able to zip the armor into the pendant for further ease of use. Unfortunately, it's not like a ring of holding or something where you'll be able to put other things in there, but the armor itself, it should be able to go in there. All you have to do is give it a little twist and it'll come out. You'll still have to slap it on your body to make the thing fit. But hopefully it'll be of some use. Just a wee trinket. Doesn't require any attunement or anything. So it's just a little something good in good faith. To tell you the truth, I made it, didn't know who to give it to. So anyway, speak to you soon. Galena.
Yeah, isn't that sweet?
Aw, you got a love letter.
And it's just a leather thong with a leather thong. I'll have you know, it means a strip of leather. It's a leather thong with a single what seems to be small metal bead at the bottom that has like a little hinge as part of the bead. And sure enough, if you twist it anti-clockwise, the armor disappears into the thing.
Cool. I sort of affix it to my driftwood pendant.
Sure.
So they're part together.
Your driftwood pendant does seem to be, when you touch it, and this has happened a couple of times recently, and it's just reminded you now, seems to be, I don't know, you kind of feel power from it. It's weird. Maybe worth checking out sometime. And with that, we will wrap up for tonight. Thank you to Felicia, Corinne, Kate, and Nick for their story today. Thank you for everybody at home for watching and being active in the chat as well. I'm Simon, as always, your DM. Honored to be so. And although hopefully soon not the only DM, more of that in the future. That's just a bit of a teaser. And our next game will be Monday, 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. as we go in for session 2 of The Price of Vengeance, where where Felicia, Corinne, because they're in everything, Jordan and Danny will be looking at a very strange ship, a ship that seems to be able to move without mechanism or sail, something that can move around seemingly at will, no oars, and after interviewing one of the pirates, believes that he got hit by an appendage of the ship. So, with that, everybody, take care of yourself, and join us on the Discord. Tell us if you like what you've heard. Tell us if you liked any particular details, if there's anything you'd like to see more of. One of the things that I realized is that I only get feedback from this lot, and well, frankly, they're getting used to me. So, give us a shout, and don't be a stranger. We're going to be doing more various gaming on our various Twitch channels. Kate obviously is there every weekday at the moment, and you're changing your times, aren't you, at the moment?
Yeah, I'm mixing it up, which is obviously confusing everyone, including myself. And so you can't really trust what I'm doing anymore. For a time, it was 2:00 in the afternoon every day, but with the summer and things, and with just trying to sort of see if I can find times when people who have had to go back to work, or it's really early in the US and stuff, I'm pushing it back a bit. Not usually starting until 3:30, really at the earliest, 4:00, 5:00, that sort of thing. But yeah, my Discord has some stuff on there of times. But it's fluid at the moment. So follow my channel if you want to watch it, and then you'll see and hit the notification bell, and then you'll know when I'm streaming because it will tell you.
Today you were playing Frostpunk, which I've wanted to try that game for ages because it just looks so gritty and cruel, and
it is
I like
cruel.
games that try to defeat you, so that's great.
That was fun.
A bunch of us are playing Don't Starve Together at the moment and absolutely loving it. I love the whole kind of Cthulhu
am very
edge to
glad I dragged you all down with me.
Thank you. Yeah, because I was looking for something that had that kind of level of. It's like I say, I like Mordheim and Gloomhaven and games that are actively trying to get you to lose more than you win. You know, so that you feel the sense of achievement when you do get to a milestone and things. Corinne has recently been had her addiction re-triggered for WoW. We have Nick and Felicia who already play that. So these are games that you can talk about in the Discord as well. We're not just role-playing. We're all sorts of games, love of all sorts of games. If you're into any of the games that I've listed or any of the others,
just come talk to us.
Come and talk to us. And chances are you'll end up playing with us. I mean, we do Don't Starve Together with Jordan. We did No Man's Sky with Jordan. We did...
to be fair, Jordan is quite an old friend of me and Felicia, so it's not
but the point is, we got into it through by talking about stuff about Discord, and then we started doing it. So we're going to be doing more of the stuff that we do on Monday, where we're going to have more participation. And DeFreight, who is in the chat at the moment, is a Forsaken Skag. Proudly.
Orc?
He's an orc, and he has burned a few villagers.
Yep. So,
in my notes.
DeFreight's playing Stranded Deep as well. I forgot about that. A Deep Stranded Deep, one of the two. Don't be a stranger and get involved. And chances are you'll turn up on one of our streams or something, I suppose. But if not, you'll just end up playing with us off stream. Anyway, It's late. Take care. Have a fantastic weekend, and we will see you on the other side. Good night.
Bye.
Good night.